No,
That's
that
it.
person.
It's the drop phone.
This is the one that if it rings, I have to step out.
1. Oh, we're live now. Awesome.
We're live.
So we're going to keep your last name silent, ambiguous, so it's like
The cop?
Well, see, people, they don't know that your real name is Steven Selinsky. And they're going to start.
Some guy named Steven Selinsky is getting a lot of Facebook friend requests
shit,
like
right
over the next
now.
hour. Like, what is happening? I'm
Mr.
blowing up.
Selinsky. He's going to shave his head. It's going to be fucking. So I'm excited. I appreciate you coming on.
I'm excited, dude.
I put my expensive Patriot shirt on for you.
Nice.
Coming from Detroit since we played.
Yeah, we have some kind of shared blood now, a little bit.
A little bit, yeah. I mean, traded blood, shared blood, brother, whatever the fuck you want to call it. Yeah.
If whatever he did with the defense could just be done with our whole team, then
maybe even the defense too.
I haven't watched the full. I think I watch Lions on Thanksgiving, and that's just because it's a Michigan tradition to have it on while you eat turkey. So
it's a requirement.
Other than that, I don't pay attention to him.
I don't blame you. It's good. People, I love Matt Patricia. I told you, he's like one of my favorite coaches ever. I mean, Patriots this, Patriots, I did whatever. My wife is a huge Patriots fan and the whole thing, and she'll take you through the catalog of all the things she has autographed. It's fascinating. But I love Patricia. I think he's awesome. Just takes time, man.
Yeah, well, I wish he could coach my fantasy team too. I came out strong week 1. That was a fluke. Like, this is my 10th year in a row of never doing fantasy again.
Shit. You can lose your ass. Like, oh, damn it. So, I appreciate it. And it's kind of your fault that he's here.
Fault?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I appreciate it. That's going to be good stuff, man.
I wanted to get him on. Kind of hit him up. I knew he was going to be back in town. I was like, hey,
heck yes.
You want to come hang out with us this afternoon?
Yeah.
And then this afternoon, of course, turned into this evening. So.
Let me choke you out, and you can come on the podcast.
Well, that was
I was saved by the bell, though.
Look, the original plan. The original plan was to choke you unconscious, throw you in the truck, drive you over here, and let you wake up, kind of sitting in the chair while we're rolling.
Kind of like a pseudo terrorist video.
I
have a hood on my head.
Well, the hood's behind you. We were ready, so I mean,
and we would be live. And
they are treating me very well.
We have placards out there.
Just have a little muzzle pop up everywhere.
We got enough of them around here someplace.
Well, yeah, we do.
No, but I really appreciate
if that happens, just tweet John Krasinski so that the new Jack Ryan guy, so he can come and save me.
Yeah.
Oh, have you seen it?
Heck yeah, I saw it.
It was amazing, right? That first season,
it, man.
Dude,
Have you seen it? Have you seen the movie? The Jack Ryan movie with John Krasinski?
No, what?
No.
There's a Ryan. There's a movie with him.
Yeah.
Yes.
Is it a year, 2 years? It's been a while.
I watched it on cable like back in December, so it's been out a while. I'm sure.
So year and a half at least. Yeah.
How did I not know this? Now, didn't Tom Clancy lose the rights to Jack Ryan through his divorce? Yeah, he did.
Did he lose them, or is it shared rights?
I thought he lost them.
You can lose your literal intellectual property in a divorce.
Through a divorce, yes, you can.
You would be shocked. Bro.
Reason 873. I cannot get divorced ever.
No,
exactly. That's why.
Even if I wanted to, I just can't do it.
That's why all his books are shit ever since his divorce, because he can't write about Jack Ryan anymore.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Yeah,
damn.
He's not allowed to write about him anymore. So I'm assuming that the wife is doing the characters. I don't care. I'm just happy he's back on. I mean, it's not Harrison Ford, but
his new character, Jazz Fian. Like, he's like, wait, what?
It's like, come on. We're gonna kick this thing off. I forgot. It doesn't come on the mics, but
what is that?
It's a little genitalia breeze.
Oh, nice.
You'll see. It'll catch you in a second.
Like
see, it keeps you a little peppy in the morning.
Should have worn my shorts.
But so this, okay. I'm gonna get in this. You have such a unique way to combine, I guess in a family show, combine the bullshit nonsense against cops into humor. I don't know how else to say it. Like, it's just the ridiculousness, that non-hate that's supposed to be hate that doesn't really exist.
Right.
It's this long fucking monologue of bullshit.
Yeah.
But to be humorous, I don't like. Is it practice? Is it just you? Is it just like, it's
me.
cool, man?
Yeah, I appreciate the compliment, but it's just, I just have always been myself. I mean, like, I guess like I'm acting in the sense of I'm not really doing a traffic stop if I'm like there, you know what I'm saying? Like,
clearly.
So, but the way that I talk is the way that I talk. So like I just being myself. Like, I'm not an actor. Really,
so is that close to an actual traffic stop?
Oh yeah, I'm completely sarcastic as hell when I talk to people on traffic stops.
I love this. I wish you could film that.
No, like
it's
all inspired from real engagements with people, you know, that make me like roll my eyes or laugh or whatever else. I'm like, oh, I can kind of like change that into video format, you know. But I don't play around on that there.
I gotta have a little producer in my wrist.
Why?
Giving me instructions.
Oh, telling you that.
Yeah, see? So apparently I didn't down adjust my mic quite enough, so I've got to...
Oh.
Y'all's are good.
Oh, perfect.
But see, it's just a little bird on my wrist.
Oh, the producer?
Yes. Yeah.
It's a good producer.
You like that?
Very much. Very much.
Maybe she knows Jack
Well,
from the Clancy
good.
movies that aren't Clancy movies.
Well, it was better than our last podcast where you're running in and doing this, and I'm like, okay, is he on camera? I'm talking to...
Totally off
That was
subject,
hilarious.
but the whole podcast thing, it was just kind of like they did a video call in. You do this a lot. I'm going to ask you that later. But the video call in thing, 'cause it frustrates the shit out of me. But the guy, the guest, awesome.
Oh, his video,
crystal
his
clear, perfect. All these things, everything on the system says it's perfect, and I can't hear them. And I'm like, you can tell. I mean, the veins are popping out, yelling into the thing. Nothing. I got nothing. I'm like, what are you even saying? So I keep trying to adjust it, and anyway. So,
dude, sound engineering is it's an animal, like compared to video, and then you try to combine the two remotely.
Yeah,
it's a nightmare.
Yes,
I think you figured it out, though.
I have figured. Well, until they do the next upgrade,
right,
or update, or whichever the system goes, I'm great until then. So I'm just kind of hoping they don't do that until maybe like 2027, maybe.
Yeah, it's the video stuff that gets you. Like, if we wanted to do this remote, where it could sound just as good as it's going to sound now or better, and I could be in Detroit, it wouldn't matter. You know, we could make the audio version if someone's driving in their car would sound excellent, you know, from universes away. But try to throw in video.
Oh, hell.
It's possible. I can explain it to you later.
Yeah, that's a long tech thing, which is in there. But yeah, so back to that. I appreciated it. Is that your son?
Which one?
All
my kids are in my videos at some point, but
yeah. So is the one that it's almost like, I don't know if he wanted to do it or not, but he was participating in the video. I'm not really sure.
Oh yeah, no,
but blondish hair, yay long on the hair, like a little bit longer hair.
Yeah. Oh well, if he's my older son, it's he's my underpaid producer. I call him.
Yes,
the UPP.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah.
Yeah, he's a little 19-year-old videographer.
Oh, he's 19.
Editor.
So you can abuse the shit out of him. There's no work laws against that.
Oh yeah, no. Yeah.
Oh, sweet.
Well, I make him work.
Yeah, as you should.
My other kids just don't get paid. My younger son is the unpaid intern.
The unpaid intern.
So I'm like, you're filming a video with the family tonight, but I got this going on. I'm like, yeah, this puts food on the table, kid. So guess what you're doing?
You're like, and you're gonna enjoy it,
and you're gonna mow the lawn.
Oh shit. That's mine. He's right there, man. I'm like, man, I even got the electric mower, so it's not even heavy.
It's the only thing sperm's good for, you know? Mowing the lawn,
right?
Washing dishes,
earning
money, paying me rent.
I can't wait till we get to the rent part. Like, woo! Like Jay's like,
I don't think that ever happens.
My underpaid producer, he moved out when he was 17, and he lived out of the house until just recently, and he wants to save up for a house.
Yeah.
So he moved back home recently, but so he had a little transition because he was paying rent, and it moved home in this month where he still owes rent. So I'm giving him a month's slack, and then I'm like, but my grocery bill has already taken an immediate hit from a 19-year-old human in my house, whose girlfriend comes over a lot too, whom I love.
Does she eat more than him?
I think maybe the same.
Oh, damn.
So Brooke, if you ever watch this, sorry, it's true.
Sorry, Brooke. I don't think she'll be watching it. You know, I don't know.
She doesn't watch my podcast. She's not gonna watch yours.
Definitely not. So we're safe. Yeah. We can hammer her.
Yeah, we got 2 layers of security before she ever hears that.
Yeah, so we're good. Yeah, it's not gonna happen, man.
This will be the one night that everybody's like, because I'm out of town, my kid's like, oh, I'm gonna turn in live. I put it up like, what the heck?
Oh, your phone will start blowing up any second. Have those notifications.
Wait, what? Brooke's a pig now? And what the what? She eats like a horse. I don't know. It's nothing. Nothing.
But you can't. But what's the worst gonna happen? My son's gonna move out, and I'm gonna save more money again.
So
okay.
So let's start talking about Brooke. I don't know.
I'm leaving. Okay.
Bye.
You coming at Christmas or no? I mean, what's gonna happen?
It's smart though. He moves back to save money and to do that.
But I'm still gonna charge him for groceries.
Yes, you should.
But yeah, no, my kids, I make them all pay for. When we try to help them out when they turn 16, getting their license and getting a car and all that stuff, but they got to pay the increase in insurance and all that stuff. So try to instill the responsibility in them. Not be slackers.
I like
it's pretty
it.
awesome though. At 19, he's trying to save up for a house.
Oh yeah, he's gonna buy it next fall, hopefully. So
19, I was just trying to get laid. I can't even imagine saving up for a house.
he's probably in the same situation.
Yeah, he's working. I mean, Brooke's busy eating, dude. You know,
That's
maybe that's how her happiness comes
house
to the stomach. Yeah. See,
it's a new generation. I don't know. I thought I understood him. I guess not.
It's just shocking to hear a 19-year-old wanting to save for a house. Man.
Yeah, I'm still saving for a house. We're 44 years
Me
old.
too.
I was like, I think we all are. What's this? How is the 19-year-old going to get a house before us? It's all this shit.
I wake up all the time like, this house sucks.
I felt like a loser before, but I really feel like a loser now. Like, God, 19 saving for a house? Shit.
19, man. Get the...
Shit, I got my kids make me feel like a loser as it is. Jesus Christ. They're way smarter than me. My son's talking about MIT and all this shit, which is legit.
Oh, but he's way smarter than me.
Yeah, my kids
he's become like a disciple of Elon Musk or something like that since he was on Joe Rogan, which took the world by storm, because
of course,
God forbid somebody smokes weed too, but he's just been binge watching this stuff, and he'll just send me random text messages, laughing on the plane today. He sends me this message that he saw Elon Musk one time said he would buy Facebook if Zuckerberg would just offer it to a good decent price. He'd just buy it because he's got money to burn. And he would just shut it down. He'd pay it. He'd buy it just to shut it down because it's a poison on society or something.
Which I think you would.
I do too.
I think you would. Holy crap! I think you would.
Shit, I wanted to buy a Tesla after listening to that podcast.
Me too.
Yeah. I don't have the money for it, but I would love to buy it.
I have been a pretty staunch opponent of too much concern over global warming or, green energy, that kind of a thing. It's never been a big thing for me. I mean, I'm not like, smoking a pack of cigarettes and kicking a can down the street and saying like we should treat the place like shit because I can.
Right.
I'm not talking about not caring for our planet per se, but it's not. I've never been like, listen, well, where do the batteries go? In a big pile somewhere? Like, what are we doing with this stuff? Like, it takes energy to charge batteries. I'm like, But this guy, listening to him, I'm like, he's got me going. I should probably look into this again. I should probably revisit this issue.
I was like, and I mean, I studied,
especially solar power. I was
like, this is dumb as shit. You know what I did after that? I was like, okay, we got to fix this. Like, okay, cool. Elon, think like Elon. Heat transfer to energy. I start pulling all this information up and pulling reports and pulling these things. And I'm like, we're in fucking South Texas. I'm going to line every fence post. Like, we're going to replace them with the fake wood that they do with playgrounds and all this kind of stuff everywhere because it's cheap as shit to make, and they make it with trash. And we're going to line the inside with heating elements that take that and convert it to energy. And every fence and every neighborhood is going to be blasting out energy. And we're going to fucking put the panels up. I'm like, Ron, I need $3.2 billion to get the prototype. Like, shit.
Send an email.
That's all I was like, I got to email Elon, man.
Dear Mr. Musk.
Yes. I have this fabulous idea.
I hope this email finds you well. I know you're busy.
Yes. But I'm really important, much more important.
I saw you on Joe Rogan. I was very impressed by the flamethrower, not flamethrowers.
Oh, the flamethrower.
That is the most.
It's not a flamethrower.
It's named
if customs asks, it's not a flamethrower.
He names it. Not a flamethrower. That is the most ingenious thing.
Why'd you do that? Because I could. That was great.
Sells what he said 20,000 or something.
Like 20,000
immediately. It was like sold out immediately
for $500 a pop.
Yeah, he was like, whatever these little weird projects he does. What he said was something like, whatever it is, to make $1 million. That's a relatively fair price. Just reverse math it, and that's how many units we're gonna make.
Yeah,
and was it sold in like 2 weeks or some bullshit? They were sold out.
No, I thought he said it was sold out like almost immediately.
Like 2 days or two. Yeah, it was 2 something
fast.
Yeah,
very fast. $500.
The Boring Company, was that what it was? 50,000 hats. Yes. Why can't I put like boring cop and sell 50,000 hats and then buy a house that doesn't suck?
Maybe you need to change your name to Elon, not Musk.
Yeah, Elon, exactly.
Elon, not Musk, and just trademark that shit, and then maybe you could catch a coattail and.
Yeah, he couldn't come after me if I legally change it.
I know.
Then it's really me.
It's really you. And they can't say you're trying to be Elon Musk because it's Elon, not Musk.
Exactly.
See,
it's good to be the king.
Son of a gun. That shit is awesome.
Now he's shooting a guy around the moon. Did you see that shit? SpaceX, some billionaire just paid to be the first civilian passenger to be launched and actually do a what do you call it when you go around the planet?
Well, it's not a full orbit, but
he's going around the moon. He's going to loop the moon and come back.
Pick up speed on the dark side.
I have no idea how it works.
Slingshot back.
Isn't
it a Star Trek movie or something?
Yeah, the moon doesn't really spin enough to get the the slingshot effect.
I wouldn't know. I'm not would that be a rocket scientist? Yeah, I'm not a rocket scientist.
I'd be the guy getting the duct tape for Apollo 13. I wouldn't be at the desk figuring it out. They'd be like, "Hey, we need duct tape and like this foil." I think I know where that's at.
Yeah. How much glue?
Yeah,
that's me.
So who do you do editing?
No. I mean, it was so much simpler in the Vine days, 6.5 seconds. Although I really, really miss Vine. And supposedly the creator was making an app V2, and it seems to have like died. There was supposed to be a beta out in the spring. This never happened.
Okay.
It forced so much creativity.
Yeah.
Like you could fit so much amazing content in 6.5 seconds because you had to, right? And it was awesome. And back then you just had an app on your phone and you just make the videos. And back then, did it myself. And then when I was forced to start making longer form videos, like I think one of the first things we did like a Christmas Eve video, like a tribute, like a law enforcement tribute. It was more like a serious thing, to Silent Night or something like that with footage. Me and the underpaid producer were literally at Best Buy, and we had set up to go to a Detroit firehouse because they're super busy. You're guaranteed to like go to a fire, so we'll talk about why liberals set stuff on fire later, I guess. The point is, we're at Best Buy and we're like, what do we get? We were calling people. What's a good camera? I don't know. And then he downloaded, I think, like Sony Vegas, like an editing thing, and literally that was the start. We were working like December 22nd, and we were literally charging this up in the wall and making shots in between. And that was the start of it, like a longer form stuff. And he's just literally taught himself, like, and some of the stuff we did in a Black Rifle commercial video that I did yesterday was like After Effects. So now it's like comes to other crazy stuff, like just all self-taught. So no, I would be relatively lost trying to put together anything that isn't a video, then switch to a picture, back to a video or something. Like I could pull that off, but he does it so fast.
God, that's just and because I'm glad, because I tried my whole thing super many years ago when YouTube was first starting. If I would have maintained that, I would have what's called a legacy account right now.
Oh,
so my little fitness and bodybuilding bullshit from back in the day, so to speak, right when I got out of the service, I had over 100,000 subscribers back then.
We were all just wanting to see
where'd that go?
Super long story short, there was a divorce, and right before the divorce, there was some.
You took your YouTube?
No, I didn't
like
take
Tom
it.
Clancy of fitness.
I did that. This is no shit. Yeah, exactly. I want nothing but his YouTube. But if you're married, you do things for your wife, and there were some self-esteem issues and all this other kind of bullshit that we find out was all bullshit later. So I shut a bunch of those accounts down. For the good of the all that kind of bullshit that you do. I'm cutting it really massively short because I'm going to the super long story, but ended it.
Yada. I didn't have a channel anymore.
And then had basically vacated all of that kind of nonsense, not knowing what it would have been.
That'd be something. Be good.
The little term legacy account with YouTube is a ridiculous term.
Yeah.
There's so few people that have that. So anyway, the point is, I was like, okay, I'm going to restart all the bullshit. And I started with the vlog. And I'll do the 4 to 7 minute vlog thing and, kind of stay. And we were opening a business. It made sense and trying to put it all together. And I'm like, 6 hours of editing for a 7 minute deal. And I'm like, no, I can't. And then it transitioned back into this. Because my wife and I had a webcast that we did from 2010 to 13. And we wound up getting 25,000 live viewers a week on it.
Oh,
which was awesome. And we kind of converted that into some promotions and things. It was amazing. So I'm just kind of like transition back into that and see what the fuck happens. But editing, no.
Yeah.
No.
Yeah, that's what I love about podcasting, man. I love about this, like, this format is, like, not that you shouldn't be, like, obviously thinking about what you're going to talk about or learn a little bit more, challenge yourself to, come prepared to the show, so to speak. But it's so much easier. Like so much easier to edit. So when we record our podcast and then it gets into the hands of, well, he's sitting right there. He's running the show and pulls it all perfectly, and then it's so much easier. His hard work is, okay, let's find a good clip for YouTube.
Yeah.
Let's find is there a good minute-long thing for Instagram? Like trying to identify where we can break it up and use it on multiple sources is the only challenge.
Yeah, which is I love that. That I'm cool with. Because it's just chop, and go, and like on a couple of my little promos, you can add little things in there and do your shop stuff. And I mean, you can have fun with it, but it's 20 minutes to do a minute clip as opposed to hours. Right. I just can't. I'm like, oh my God.
I think you do a pretty good job. Because I've asked you, how'd you do that? Like, I don't know. I just did this, did that. In 5 minutes, it was there. I'm like,
it's all self-taught. Same thing, because I use Sony Vegas Pro, and then I also have all of the Adobe stuff, so I have that.
Yeah, he uses that now. He got rid of Sony Vegas, and Adobe Premiere is his go-to now.
Yeah, and it's just, for me, it's like some things are really easy in one as opposed to the other, and it's...
I'm still good with Video Shop app on my phone. Like, that's... even I have some videos out there that are 3 or 4 minutes long that are entirely edited on the phone just because I know how to make it work.
Yeah.
Like my whole life is in this thing.
But it's simple, and it's just, that's the technology, man. I love that kind of crap. Yeah.
And now they got lav mics that you can plug in now that are decent enough. You could literally put a lav mic in here, record yourself, get a little Gorilla Pod, put your phone up, and have a pretty decent sounding podcast, with video right from a phone.
You got mixers. You can download mixers.
Oh, yeah.
For the lav mics. They have to be plug-in, though. If they're Bluetooth, you can't do adjustments. That's why I've got the 2 lav mics over there, and I've got all these. Yeah, it's just, it works awesome, man.
I have, like, anxiety, though, right now, because I don't know how I sound.
Right now?
Yeah. I'm like,
you either sound like, I don't know, Ren and Stimpy or Barry White.
I hope
one of those two.
Good. I hope it sound like real velvety.
You might find out. You want a wig? Wig and some dark glasses? Maybe, yeah. We'll turn it all down in shadow behind you, and you could play with it a little bit.
Y'all are so far ahead of me. I literally, on the little stupid videos I make, I literally grab the rookie. I'll say, here, you're filming this. And then I grab the little Asian guy, and then I choke him or something, and I go, just like that. And that's it. And I got like a little app where I'll cut it down, and that's like, y'all
what's his name? I always forget.
Luda Buddha.
Well, what's his... Oh, you don't want to say his...
No, Dory. I'll say Dory.
Oh, okay. Because I was like...
I just call him Little.
And then you sent me the video, and I was like, "Oh yeah, I was drinking with that guy."
Yeah, Dory's a great guy.
Wait, which one's Little Buddha?
The little Asian guy.
The one I
always use to choke out.
Okay, yeah.
Well, I try to choke out.
Yeah, he taps way too early.
He taps very early.
We're gonna side control.
Yeah,
pretty much.
Yeah, there was one that he almost did.
I should show you some of the stuff. Like we'll just be doing a move, and I'm doing it gently as possible. And he's so stiff. Like, he's literally, like, does nothing physical at all other than eat, like, burritos, which you've seen. And he's so stiff that, like, I'll start to move part of his body, and he immediately starts moaning and groaning. I'm like, bro, I was like, you can't be doing that, like, on the video.
When's he going to come train?
He says that when his kid turns 3, which is in a couple months.
What's magic about 3?
Because his son's going to start training with us. And he said,
that's what age you can start?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Well, he always says he's going to buy a black belt off eBay and just show up and challenge Brian, Professor Brian. I go, you do that.
Happy. Please, I will fly in for that.
Yes,
please.
You do that. He keeps saying he's going to do it.
As long as he would have to sign something that he was not allowed to get off the mat for like 12 minutes or something like that, no matter what happens.
Brian would just keep him there.
Yeah, he's not going anywhere.
He's not going to have an option. Once you step on, you've already signed the waiver. It's just, you're stuck.
Yes, that would be amazing.
Yeah, he keeps saying it. But he's not going to, I don't know. We'll see. We'll get him out there.
Do it. Yeah.
I got to, I trained my guys. So I got to roll with them a little bit. And then I was having fun with them, and then everybody jumped in on me. You know Ann Carrizales, right?
Yes.
So yeah, her and some of the other ones, they grabbed me and immediately pulled me off. Actually, Ann almost put me to sleep because like 3 of them were holding me down, and then Ann, she's not a small girl, like, she's stout, right? She wraps, and she's trained a little bit. She wrapped that arm around me, started squeezing. Well, my hands are tied up like this because they're like handcuffing me, and then they're grabbing my feet at the same time while she's choking me out, and I'm trying to tap, but I can't tap, and I can't talk because she's choking me. So I'm like. And if you see the video, my face is turning red.
I'm gonna die.
And then
This is how it all ends.
Pretty much. That's what I thought. I was like, Jesus Christ. And a couple
lived my whole life for this.
Yeah.
It was almost over. And then finally someone told her, I think he's passing out. You might want to let go. So she did.
Like,
The rookie holding the camera's like, I don't know if I'm allowed to talk.
Yeah.
Should I say something?
Right.
What did I sign? What like this?
Oh, good
man.
times. Good times.
Yeah.
I've got to figure out what I disagree with you guys on.
That's the hard part. Like a lot of the things we're in. So, politically, I'm a conservative libertarian.
Which I'm the same.
Yeah, I identify myself as a. I think I put this on Twitter a couple weeks ago. Like, because people ask me, like, they always assume I'm like a Republican.
Yeah.
They assume I am. I don't have any party affiliation or whatever.
Yeah.
Pro-life libertarian. That's the best description. If I have to like try to fit into some box that people describe,
Right.
but people that. I understand like this. I get it. I'm gonna be put into the right camp, but I'm not like I don't carry around that flag. I don't have that flag. Like I'm not like a champion of the right.
Yeah, but
like they're not like my team or anything.
Right,
Like that.
yes,
I'm
I can't do
I
this.
just
But-
I fall into
son of a
that
bitch, yeah.
when you talk on
Everybody's
individual
put over
issues, usually,
Yeah.
like or on principle. But when I was listening to a couple of the podcasts on the way over, like oh, yeah, I pretty much agree with that.
Well, everybody
Yeah.
everybody who's not on the left is now, it seems like, just considered alt-right. Like, if you're not a liberal, it's, okay, you're alt-right.
Yeah.
Like, I've seen
Yeah,
guys
yeah.
like just about anybody who doesn't agree with the mainstream left agenda, it's just automatically, oh, well, you're alt-right.
Well, when I was growing up, man, it was like my family comes from like a pretty blue collar background. My grandfather worked in steel in Detroit, and I mean, I think the difference was I think he'd have been more conservative, just because he was devout Christian, more of like that end. So I think I never really talked politics with my grandfather. It was always Detroit Tigers and work, and and he would beat me if I talked bad about my grandma or something like that. Like that's about it. Like never really got into politics with him. But now that I think about it, my grandmother did take me to see Ronald Reagan in a Sears parking lot when I was a kid. That was pretty. So they were probably Republican.
Yeah, they were.
But back then, even being Republican or Democrat, it was it was labor. At least in the Detroit context, right? Unions.
Yeah.
That's what it was. Ideologically, I think most people in Metro Detroit were socially conservative, but labor issues were huge there, and so the Democrats were pro-union, and the Republicans were pro-life, and that was like the main things. But
those are the big arguments.
Yeah, and today it's like you feel like forced. You have to be one or the other, and so like if you like, it's weird that I would be for legalizing marijuana, but I'm anti-abortion. So if I talk about if I say I'm anti-abortion, everybody automatically assumes I'm this crazy Republican, and if I say I'm for legalizing weed, everybody assumes that I'm some weird liberal. Like at least from my camp, with a lot of police officers or whatever.
Pretty universal.
So it's like, why can't I think for myself on an issue and like come to a conclusion? Like, I don't know.
It's not
I
a
feel
punch
like the
ticket.
weed issue's changing a little bit, though. I think that weed issue's coming around. I would say, so I don't know about Michigan, but I'll say here in Texas, not all, but you're seeing a lot of police officers kind of on that side of, what are we doing? Like, why are we doing this now?
I've been a
Like,
cop
what's the
for 9 some years. Okay. I think I haven't made a weed arrest in over 3.
Yeah.
I don't mess with it. If I have discretion,
right?
Like I'll use it. We're not talking about.
What are the laws in Michigan on weed?
It's medical marijuana. So if you have your medical card, if whatever the qualifications are, if you get your med card, then you can have 2.5 ounces on you, and you have to have your card. It's supposed to be transported in a locked container in your trunk or inaccessible to the driver or whatever else, and they changed that now. But then Michigan screwed up with its laws because they now, with heroin even, or any other drug, if you call seeking help, you're immune from prosecution.
Whoa.
So what do you think happens
get out of jail free
when
card right
you've got
there.
you just bought 5 or 10 packets of heroin? And so to set the context here, heroin, if you come to Michigan, I could like get you heroin in 5 minutes, right?
Yeah.
I've never even seen meth. So like come down here and people are like, oh, you never seen meth? Like, right. So like it's different.
Flipped. Yeah.
I've never seen black tar heroin either. It's all powder. So there's 2 powders, one from Afghanistan, one from Mexico, basically. Yeah. So what do you think happens when you just bought your 5 or 10 packets and you get lit up? 911, I think I have a problem. I think I might be overdosing. Oh, where are you at? I'm right here. I think a cop's pulling me over right now, actually. Can you send an ambulance? Guess what? That's what happens with those 5 or 10 packages of heroin.
Are you serious?
No.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
And that holds up in a court of law?
Oh. Okay, so legal update. I'm in Wayne County, so this is where Detroit is. So
okay, yeah.
And our legal update, the last one that I had, I actually work in another county now, my part-time gig, but they were like, don't even contact the county prosecutor's office for felony charges if it's not like 50 grams or more.
Holy crap.
So you're talking about like a massive, a good amount of narcotics, because they'll charge them.
Yeah.
But what's gonna happen is the case. There's too many stabbings and murders.
Yeah.
To worry about 20 packets of heroin.
Right.
So what happens is they get non-reporting probation. So the logic from the prosecutor's office is charge them locally, which means $500 ticket and community service for the maximum amount that you can do locally. So you're basically charging them like a misdemeanor. So 6 months community service and $500, and then court costs or something like that. Wow. So you're talking like hard dope. I mean, different if you obviously catch the circumstances of delivery or sale.
Right.
That is a different thing. But we're talking about just possession. So like it's a weird game right now with dope, and I'm not sure. I'm still on the fence. Weed, I think, 100% should be legal.
Yeah.
Heroin, meth, cocaine, crack. I don't know, man. I struggle with it.
I'm with you on that, because it almost makes sense. Just like it's tough, and that's I struggle. Why are we going to incarcerate somebody because they're using some drugs that may not be quite as hard as what they can get prescribed if they break their leg?
Right. Yeah.
I'm like, something doesn't seem right with that. But then again, I'm kind of like, if the federal government comes through and legalizes a bunch of these things that we have a prohibition against, they'll have harder narcotics. I think some of the dirtier ones may fall off.
Maybe. I saw something about California has like a safe injection site now, or they've had these like places where you can go shoot up or whatever else. My thing is, obviously, from a principle standpoint, you've got, why do we have any laws, right? Because you have to have laws if you want to have any semblance of order. It's for, in theory, okay, not necessarily where politics has gone today, but in theory, the idea is we need to have these boundaries for public good. And my concern with harder drugs is the effect that heroin has on somebody is so vastly different from marijuana.
Yeah.
I've never been called to a marijuana overdose. I've never been called to Steve got high and beat the shit out of Mary,
right?
Because he was high on the weed or whatever. Like,
right?
It doesn't happen.
Right.
I think there's a lot of correlation, not causation, problems in certain violent cultures. Guns and other weapons, or a gang activity happens to be in conjunction with marijuana, but not necessarily caused by it. So I think there's been a lot of issues as far as law enforcement goes with that perception, and that needs to be fixed in cops. I think the mindset. But when it comes to heroin, it's a different ballgame.
It is. It really is.
And it has a major impact, I think, on people, that now it's impinging on my liberty. Now it's impinging on my ability to have a peaceful community, because you're shooting up and losing complete control of yourself and roaming around my streets. You're breaking into stuff. You're stealing to support the habit. Like there's so much that goes along with the harder narcotics. So
like that, I agree with that part of it. And then I guess where a majority of my issue comes in is obviously with PTSD and TBI and mentoring people and that whole deal for many, many, many years now. There's just so many things like with psilocybin and LSD and, ayahuasca and all these things that they're like, okay, well, if they go to another country and they go through these treatments, they come back and they're 80% better.
Yeah.
They're never perfect, but it's manageable.
Yeah.
So I'm like, why should that be a Schedule I drug? And if they're doing that therapy with themselves on those, now this isn't heroin and it's not meth, it's none of those, but everything's all just grouped in together.
Yeah.
And then I just don't see the U.S. federal government allowing proper studies on things like the psilocybin and such like that on, for psychotherapy.
Yeah.
Maybe. So now we're getting federal studies on marijuana use, right? We're seeing
just started,
They're just starting.
Yeah.
So we're starting to, it's things we already kind of knew, that there's a lot of medical benefits to use of marijuana for a lot of different reasons. So the psilocybins, whatever, those will eventually, I think we will start getting testing on those. It'll happen. To me, it's a weird thing that we have laws that dictate what a person's allowed to put in their own body. Like, not in your body, my personal body. There are things I'm not allowed to put in my own body. And that is to me, it's just some of the weirdest laws that we have.
Yeah, but I think Mike hit it, is that there's some things if you put in your body, you inhibit and
I feel like there's no
somebody else's liberties.
And a lot of people shoot back at me usually like, well, what about alcohol? Drunk drivers, they kill people. Yeah, I agree. However, I don't. Can you use heroin in moderation?
No.
Like you can't throw back a couple of packets. You don't tie off and be like, just a little bit, having fun,
just a drip.
Watch the game, do a little bit of H. Like, it doesn't work that way, Like, you can have a couple of beers and drink responsibly. Like, this is possible, And so, I mean, I get it. I feel the same way. I hate the government involvement in it though, with injection sites or providing it or that kind of thing. Like, do
weird.
not spend my tax dollars getting people to inject whatever they want.
Right.
Let the private market handle that.
Yeah.
Let some type of heroin safe place pop up and charge people to come in and get a high, if that's the direction that it was going to go, and then put them in a fence. And don't let them out until they're not high anymore.
That's where my libertarian comes in.
I don't know.
Yeah, but here's the thing with the hard drugs. And so, like with marijuana, I'm kind of with you. It probably should be legalized. But when it comes to the harder drugs, the issue being how people react and how it affects them and how it affects everybody around them. So when you have somebody who's, like I said, using harder drugs and it becomes an addiction to them and they have to go find any means possible to keep that addiction satisfied, that's when it's affecting the public good. That's when it's affecting people down the street who are getting broken into or whatever. Name all this typical B&Bs,
or it's taking the property tax dollars and making me stand over a dead body that overdosed. Over and over again. Instead of doing something more productive.
So I think that's where the line gets drawn on what drugs should be legalized versus what drugs shouldn't be legalized. I think that's the line we should look at.
Then we're asking a bunch of to stereotype a bunch of 7-year-old white men to sit around a table and be like, well, that drug's probably okay. Well, we'll let them testing on this one. And then what the fuck? Dude, they don't even know what the internet is.
Yeah. Oh, you're talking about Congress.
Yeah.
Joyce, Jeff Sessions.
Yeah.
Jesus Christ.
We'll form a committee on that.
Jeff Sessions, man. Ridiculous. When that dude came up and was like, we're going to go back and crack down on weed, I'm like, really? Of all the problems we're facing, weed? You're worried about weed?
What do you think it is that keeps it from being federally legal? Well, I mean, really, what's the... Right, there's got to be... I call it skepticism. I have no numbers on this. Right. This is based on fact, but just the call it 42 years of life. There is no way the government is holding on to this unless it profits them.
Oh yeah,
I think it's two things.
So what is that? It like where are they getting the money?
Maybe it's profiting individual legislators.
Right. You have to look at the definition of profit. I think one of the so we know
power position, influence, profit. Whatever. Yeah.
Exactly. So we know, generally speaking, one of the major contributors to the cause of the prohibition was paper mills against hemp. Right. That's basically where really most of it started. It had nothing to do with drugs, and then it just got thrown into a Schedule I on a federal level, which the federal government's shit about changing anything. Right. Yeah. So that's like problem one. Problem 2, I think, is the tobacco industry. Why is the tobacco industry going to let weed become legal if they're not controlling weed?
Yeah.
If they're not growing it and controlling it and selling it?
Yeah.
And yeah, they had the big lawsuit against them. Bro, they're not hurting.
I don't think it's just
they're not hurting at all.
No, I saw some commercial the other day. It was like, I think it was Marlboro. It says the courts mandated that they say this, and so it's like they made a commercial like, we're saying this because the courts made us.
Right.
Good day, smoke Marlboros.
Right. And people are doing it. What the fuck is this?
Yeah.
Please. So, but I think that's what it is. So I think that's a major contributor. I think there's a ton of little things here and there that contribute, but I think those are the two.
Yeah. Well, I think alcohol, tobacco, pharmaceuticals, weed's a direct competitor to all those markets. So I think they're pumping money. I think they're just pumping money into all these legislators.
There's a guy I trained jiu-jitsu with. What's the date today? 20th?
Yep.
20.
Oh,
yes.
good. I should get a hold of him because today he was supposed to find out if he was getting this job with. So doctors can't prescribe weed.
Right.
So even though we have quote unquote medical marijuana, doctors can't prescribe it. So now they're getting these grants. So he's looking at 2 different hospitals, and they get these grants, big dollars, to pay people who they have identified with vast amounts of experience in the cultivation or development and the practical use of marijuana. So he's been running a nonprofit for a while, to where like you might reach out to him and like, I've got this chronic thing. He actually will mix up the right, because there's like 113 cannabinoids or whatever in it.
There's a ton of different
cannabinoids. It's not just THC and whatever. So when you think CBD oil, you think like there's a whole thing, and each one put together yields different results.
Yeah.
Whatever. So he'll like, okay, this is your prescription, basically, these gummies or whatever. Like, and he can send them, because you can send CBD in the mail.
Yeah.
And he's been doing this for a while. So, dude, he just blows my mind when he talks about the results that he's seeing in patients. So he's basically going to be able to mitigate cancer pain in a way that doesn't irritate your stomach, doesn't create like problems. There's a lot of problems coming off of opioids with nerve pain.
Yeah.
So
tremendous amount.
So he's not a doctor.
No.
So you can't be a doctor and do this.
Nope.
So I would love to see the application list for this job.
Me too.
I want to see the pictures.
Crazy. Yeah.
Can you imagine?
Well, he's like a quintessential. Like, dude, like
gotta be
he's a different cat, dude.
Yeah.
It's pretty, but he's super knowledgeable.
Yeah.
Super knowledgeable and compassionate. So I think that's like what the deal is. But I don't know if he's gonna get this job or not, because it's like, dude, I gotta talk to you, because this is like a fascinating.
Did they give him a test?
It was an interview process. I know that.
What if they like mix something together? We're gonna try it out. We're gonna judge your skills.
But he's gonna, if he gets this position, it's gonna come with like research dollars. So he can actually. He's like, I don't even know. He's like, I know when I get this edible from this grower, it works on people that are experiencing these symptoms, but I don't know why. I could get a different edible from a different grower, a different plant strain, and give it to the same person, same amounts. Doesn't work. Why?
Yeah.
What is it? He's like, I can't figure that out at my house. He's like, I have to be able to actually have people that I can say, we need to test this for whatever, and kind of get the data.
Yeah.
I mean, it's fascinating, really.
That's actually pretty interesting.
That's where I would come in, is then you start breaking down the genetic chains of the.
Where do I get an application for this job?
I don't know. I'm going to find out. Like, if it works out for him, I'm going to start learning about weed really quick.
You're like,
That's what I'm talking about. I might be moving to Michigan.
Hell yeah.
Buy me some coats and.
Do they have medical marijuana here?
No.
Very, very.
Well, I mean, they
there's
do,
a couple
but
limited.
yeah,
it's extremely limited.
Well, that's a dumb thing. You just go to somebody that's like at a clinic. Like, I think doctors have to sign off on it, but you can't just normally get it prescribed. It's like these.
Right.
I just don't know enough about it to tell you exactly.
It's a
what
weird,
the
obscure, like
threading the needle looks like to do.
There's
that.
a couple we were talking about.
There's 4 illnesses in the state of Texas that you can get it prescribed for, and it's a complicated process.
yeah.
And
Well, in Michigan, it's kind of like, I got some back pain. Okay,
there you go.
I think
some weed.
It's
Yeah.
Oklahoma. We had this woman that got into a car accident one night when I was working, and of course she comes out of the car, she's all messed up, and of course, the door opens and the smell hits you right like a freaking ton, and found a bunch of weed in her car. It wasn't like a lot, it was like a usable amount, maybe like an ounce or something. And she goes, I got a medical marijuana card. We're like, medical marijuana card? Nobody has medical marijuana cards. And she had something from California. We're like, sorry, that doesn't really work here. I don't know what to tell you, but
You're in the great country of Texas now, man.
Hell yeah.
You're not in California right now. But I guess it's coming eventually.
Yeah. And then we ran into a problem too when it first came out. They were so backlogged with applications in the state to get your card and get assigned a number. All you had to do is fill out the application, and if a certain number of days passed, I think it was like 60 days, it was valid. Just your application was your license. If you even applied, if you didn't hear from the state in 60 days, you were valid, because they were so backlogged on applications. And so it's like, and we had no way to know. Somebody could make a fake medical marijuana card. I would never. There's a number on it.
How do you know how to? Yeah.
You can't run it in lean. Like there's no like it's not like a driver's license number. Right. You can check it, but they have added us like we would have to call dispatch. They would have to call the state or put in the system and then find out, is this even valid, or are they carrying around 5 jars of weed that they're going to sell to some kids down the street and just telling me, like, what's going on?
You don't know the difference.
I don't know.
Wow.
Ice cream trucks. You got your little weed trucks coming through with all the different
ice cream trucks.
Yeah.
That's usually where you get the crack, though, I think.
Oh, is that what it is?
I believe so. That's what I hear.
Could be.
Make it just a straight weed truck. No more ice cream trucks, man.
Just
little Rastafari music coming through.
What kind of music?
Like
Rasta
instead of a
music
food
coming
truck?
like
Instead of a food truck? No.
Bob Marley rolling around like, oh.
Yeah, the food truck follows the weed truck.
So you know how the food trucks are super popular in Austin?
Yeah.
Could you imagine set up a weed truck in the same? Because in Austin,
I went to a food truck in Tampa at like a meet and greet. It was called Smoking Bowls.
Oh,
it was good though. It was good Mexican.
It was good Mexican, huh?
Yeah.
Smoking Bowls in Mexican.
That's a great.
Don't know what they put in it. But
Let me steal that name for that weed truck.
I was really chill. I was really chill.
You're like, it's a good day.
Great.
Loved it, man.
So relaxed.
Got a great tan later. It was awesome.
That's funny. Holy crap.
But hard drugs, man, I don't know. I don't feel like I have enough grasp on it to be like frame a position and articulate it and stand by it. I'm just kind of like, I see sort of like both sides. I just like stare at it like, I don't know.
Yeah. Well, and here's the shitty part. This is, some of the people watching will love this, some of the libtards and stuff. But they, if somebody is very wealthy and they're dabbling in some of the harder drugs, cool, man. They're running a company. They're worth millions. It's all great. But if you have somebody over that may not quite be here legally and they're just going nuts and they're rummaging through and breaking into cars and doing all that kind of bullshit, now that's the problem.
Yeah. Yep.
Always a double standard, baby.
It's always a double standard. Well, if you got money, you can do anything you want. Just
look at Magic Johnson. He still has AIDS.
Does he? I thought he was actually technically cured.
I thought they said he was actually cured.
He is clear of.
That doesn't make any sense, man.
No, it doesn't make you. I'm telling you, they came out with
he either never had it.
That's what.
Or if you got enough money, you can get cured of AIDS.
If you got enough money, you can do anything.
I'm going to say this, and I don't know if we've talked about it on the podcast before. I believe the whole damn thing was bullshit, and it was all a marketing ploy, and the government paid him out the ass.
Really?
That's an interesting theory.
He never looked sick. He never. Come on, man. He got AIDS when AIDS was like.
Well,
maybe he got the flu one night and he was like, I have slept with 300 women. That's as bad as the AIDS. I probably got AIDS.
It's gotta be.
It's gotta be AIDS. You know. But there's some. I'm like, come on, man. You can't.
So how does it work? Hold on. With AIDS, so
it's HIV first.
HIV.
Right?
Yeah. He was never. His AIDS never activated. Right. He was always just.
Yeah. He was always just HIV positive.
He always had the HIV.
You had people taking 300 pill cocktails every day, dying in 3 weeks from HIV and AIDS.
You could watch the movie Philadelphia 800 times and Magic Johnson's still alive.
Right. See what I'm saying? Like, come on, man. And he gets cured. He still gets to play. He never lost weight. He never got sickly.
Play, didn't he?
Well, he went back and played.
It was a big controversy, right? Like, what if he gets cut?
Yeah.
He gained weight.
We played in the Olympics, and he played.
That's right. And everybody was like so mad, like, "Oh, you're prejudiced against people with AIDS if you don't let them play." I'm like, okay. I'm prejudiced against me getting AIDS.
I'm calling bullshit on all of it.
You know what? That's I kind of agree with that.
Who was the kid that Michael Jackson attached to that had AIDS back in the 80s?
What?
White? Was his last name White or something?
There
was he was like a big thing. Like he was like the face of AIDS.
Yeah.
Oprah was all about it, and Michael Jackson, and there was this kid, a teenager, I think, that had HIV or something like that.
Right around 90, right? Right around 1990.
White was his name, I think.
Dang it.
But I don't remember.
I'll have to Google that later.
I have no idea.
I do.
Yeah, that's what you
remember.
guys were talking about last episode too. Like we're bionic. We can just Google it.
Oh,
Hey, have you guys watched Black Mirror? I meant to ask you that.
I've watched episodes of it.
Dude, it's exactly what we're talking about with that.
No, it does. It talks about all those things.
And I'm a big believer in this. This is a little weird. I've thought this since the original like Star Trek and stuff. If we can imagine it, I think we can do it. I think it's just a matter of time. Like if it's something we can picture, nothing stops us other than time and ingenuity until we get it. Eventually we'll just be able to be like have like the little replicator or have the little holodecks. You have a room in your house where it's like it's a beach, you know, and it just simulates it or whatever else. Like it's coming. We'll be dead, but maybe not. Technology advances so rapidly.
Maybe not.
But that implant where people like see all their memories or scroll through, carry their little clicker or whatever else. Like
it's happening.
It's true, man. It's coming.
Did you see? You watch the Altered Carbon on Netflix? You got to watch it.
Oh, I watched that. That was actually pretty interesting.
That was a pretty cool little deal. Basically, you and all of your consciousness is downloaded into this little stack that fits in between one of your vertebrae and your neck. I think right above C7, but whatever. Fits in your neck, and then you have your sleeves. So you can just be put into any body, anywhere, at any time.
Sleeves being a body.
Sleeves.
So you could buy your body. So if you wanted to look like Arnold Schwarzenegger, and you had the money, you could be Arnold Schwarzenegger.
Nice.
Yeah,
it would be you in that body.
But then they had the thing.
So it's a little bit of a twist on the Matrix. So the bodies are in real time.
It's real people. They just have stacks, and they can live for
thousands of years,
thousands of years, I guess. So, and then if you had enough money, you could actually download your stack up into like a satellite, so that if your stack got blown, they could just take it and re-download it into a new stack, new body.
Jeez. Now get this. What's this futuristic stuff? Time travel, right? Or, well, let me take a step back. Not time travel per se, but interplanetary travel.
Yeah.
Right? Like, we want to get to another galaxy over. Like, let's say that we come up with a way to travel fast enough that we sustain a community. Mm-hmm. People are going to die, right? So, like, you start with 500 people on this ship, and we're going to hurtle at whatever speed it's going to take, and let's say it's going to take 1,000 years to get to this planet that we think is going to be inhabitable.
Right.
Whatever. The problem is technology is advancing so fast. When you got to that planet, people from your old planet would already be there.
Right.
Because in 500 years, they learn a way to do it in 200.
Yeah.
And you get there, and you're mind-fucked because cousin Joe beat you to the planet because he signed up for the next adventure.
Which is crazy.
Bro, my mind was blown. I read it. I'm like, what?
And then we still got the problem.
We're not even smoking weed in this.
I was going to say, this is straight up stoner talk right now, dude.
Because
we just talked about
it's Joe Rogan's stand-up where he's talking to dolphins, you know?
Yeah. But get this. So even in that, when you look at it, you're looking at it X number of billion years old.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Or thousands of years old, or however far away. So even when you launch, you don't even know if that planet's going to be there when you arrive.
It's true. Could have got
shit had already been destroyed. You're launching, and it's been gone for 1,000 years.
Yeah, that suck.
You're like,
problems
damn it.
The problems of interplanetary travel.
Yeah, see,
we won't have those problems.
Figure that crap out.
Well, I don't know. The way
all I know is we're not taking any heroin on that.
Hell no.
Show.
No.
Or a bunch. Either way, I don't know. It depends on the laws when it happens. I don't know what
as long as
can't stop me from taking my heroin on this interplanetary adventure.
As long as they got a helpline, they're good to go. Jesus Christ!
If I can claim it, hell yeah.
That's the crazy. I'm still. My mind is way more blown by the fact that if you have heroin on your person and you're getting pulled over by a police officer, you can literally call 911. The police.
I'm overdosing.
I need help. Oh, and there's a cop pulling me over.
And you got your pass.
Can you give me an ambulance? Okay, yeah, sure, no problem.
You got your pass.
That's actually a little crazier to me than the other shit you were talking about.
I mean, you got an impound fee.
Do they, or do they waive that because you're having a problem? Jesus Christ. How pissed off would record yards be? They'd be like, what the fuck, man?
Yeah, you know, I mean,
money.
It's crazy. It's crazy.
So anyway.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
So what you got going on? What you got going on with you getting pepper sprayed or some shit Saturday?
Oh gosh.
You volunteered for this, right?
Yeah, unfortunately.
Yeah.
I got this fitness challenge thing that we did. It was like a brainchild of Relentless Defender, Aaron from Relentless, him and Jason from Milkor. They decided like to sponsor this thing with me and Officer Daniels, and Yeah. So we did the Cooper standards back in June, and 3 months later, do it again. And whoever improves the most on their own numbers, not against each other.
Okay.
So
it is a competition,
based.
but yeah. So like, whatever his body weight was and much weight he loses, that's a percentage. Like, so I'm pretty screwed. Like, I'm probably gonna lose that part, and then for a lot of reasons, like. I hate running, and I really didn't even really practice too much. And then I tried to push myself once, and I had a broken leg like 7 years, well, maybe longer than that now. No, way longer than that. Like 2006, I broke my leg.
Oh, damn.
Never got it treated. Never even knew about it. I re-injured it at grappling with some students at a police academy back in like 2012. And they're like, I was at the orthopedic doctor. They're like, when did you break your leg? I'm like, never that I know of. They're like... You didn't fall off a ladder or jump, because they like described this fracture. And I was like in the room with my daughter, and we looked at it. I'm like, oh, I jumped in the lake, and it like looked way deeper than it was. It wasn't. It was very shallow. Oh, and I like that was I think the first time my kids heard me like, I don't know how many times I said fuck, but it was like what's wrong with Dad? Like I was on vacation, and I propped my leg up the rest of the time, and then like the next day I was out fishing and doing whatever, and I just push through the pain, take some ibuprofen. I've never taken any drugs harder than 800 milligrams of ibuprofen, so I don't know, like just pop those and work through it. So it just like healed itself, but it explains why if I run more than a mile, I want to cry. Like,
I saw you running the other day on your Instagram. You had a story going.
I did.
You were doing the whole thing. I was like, God,
it's the last time.
It's killing it now.
It's the last time you're ever going to see me run. I'm done. That's it. I'm retiring.
Yeah.
I just grapple.
Well, anytime I see anybody running for more than 5 seconds, I'm like, is someone chasing you?
Sprinting doesn't bother it. It's
the slower jar.
It's the pace, like running. So if I was gonna run back and forth, gotta do some wind sprints for 20 minutes. Okay, my knee won't hurt like it does if I did a mile or even a mile. A mile and a half is like it hurts. So like I'm not looking forward to Saturday. Probably more for my knee hurting for the next 2 weeks than I am the pepper spray, because that'll go away after an hour. But the loser gets pepper spray, but we're gonna turn it into a fundraiser.
Yeah.
So then we'll say hey, if we raise $1,000, then I'll spray the winner, and then we'll be like another 500. Maybe we'll spray Aaron, and then we'll spray the So we'll try to up it, and everybody at the end should be sprayed and crying and snotting. It should be a good time.
I might get in on some of that.
Come on out.
Do it. I like that. Okay, so where can they donate?
It'll be live on Relentless Defender page, and we'll just put a donate button up and it will probably go. I'll probably share that on Humanizing the Badges site. We'll figure it out. There'll be a donate button right in Facebook.
Okay. We got some $100 friends.
Oh, we do.
And that's the one good thing about Facebook is they give 100%. They don't keep a dime of.
Oh wow, I didn't know that.
Yep. No.
Oh, cool.
No fees at all.
Really cool.
100% to the nonprofits. Yeah.
Wow.
That's actually.
It didn't start out that way, but they changed it last year.
Okay.
So it's huge. It's one of our largest revenue sources.
That's awesome.
Live streams.
Wow.
Facebook.
I like that.
They're kind of impressing me a little bit with that one.
I just want to watch how many people can. There's 20
Actually,
people there. All 20 are getting pepper spray.
Pepper spray, to be honest.
I was like, we just go.
Yeah. So it's gonna suck, but at the end of the day, it'll go to a good cause. So it is what it is. The pain's temporary.
Shit.
I learned that tonight while you were sticking your knee in my chest. I learned pain was temporary.
You got saved.
Well, let me tell you what was funny.
Well, they ended it early. I was really trying to work. I was really trying to work out of it, but
I looked at Brian like, "What the fuck?"
He probably did it to torture you. He probably saw that you were getting close. He's like,
"Yeah, finally, I'm on top." And then I hear, "All right, time." I look up. There's like a minute and a half left, maybe more.
I should have just sat guard right away. I was like, it's too much time standing up.
And then Brian, I'm looking at Brian like, "What are you doing? I'm just getting started. I'm just getting to work." But no, it's good times. Good times today. It was funny I was goofing around on Instagram, just letting people know that we're gonna be podcasting and throwing shit out there. And I was like, "Hey, anybody want to see Mike the Cop submitted in any weird ways? Just let me know, dude." I was like, Jesus Christ, what did this guy do?
I gotta go back and look at all the suggestions.
No, I was like 5. I stopped after a while because I had to walk my dog. I had to do this. I had things to do. I couldn't keep reposting these things.
I just saw you tag me the one that was like, what did he do to you guys?
That was the last. I just finally was like done because I twisters, all kinds of shit people were asking me to do to you. And I'm like, first of all, he's actually
the electric chair.
I mean, he's actually pretty good. So it's not like it's gonna be I can just fucking do it. And second of all, like, what did he do to you guys? Like, what the fuck? I don't know. Maybe you just have such an impact on people.
I guess. Love me or hate me.
Yeah.
Well, I was the one that was like this.
Yeah, you threw one out there too. By the way, he threw the Peruvian necktie out for you.
Yeah.
Actually, I had 5 of those. Brian threw that one out for you too. The Peruvian necktie.
Jeez.
Yeah.
All the old people. All the old people.
Yeah, they're like,
put him in a half Nelson.
What'd you count as a submission?
I was waiting for the WWE references, but I never got any of those. It was actually legit. Well, one was.
What was Jake the Snake Roberts one? The DDT or something like that? Is that what he did? What did Hacksaw Jim Duggan do?
He hit you with a 2x4.
He just hit you with a 2x4, man.
You can tell I'm dated with my WWF references.
Well,
that's what it was when I watched it when I was a kid.
Well, that's when it was good.
Okay, so my wife will enjoy this. When I met her, she was a WWE diva.
Oh, what's like the ring person kind of a thing?
One of the divas. Like they had the contest and one of the pretty people for WWE.
Yeah.
I don't know. Didn't they do the wrestling too? Like the
girls?
Yeah. So like they're like pro wrestlers.
I meet her and we're at this contest and I'm the commentator, host guy, and all this kind of stuff. And I'm like, is that like WWF? No fucking clue. I had no clue. And she was like, yeah, jackass. Yeah, jackass.
She looked at you like you were nuts. Like,
yeah. Like, what? You don't know?
What rock did you just crawl out of?
Yeah.
It's funny.
Like 50 million people watching this show. You have no idea what it's called.
And I'm like, is that like WWF? I really had no idea. I was like, oh, fuck, WWF.
It's huge. I don't know what the appeal is. I guess I take myself back to being a kid, and just me, my brother, and my cousins. Every Sunday we'd go to my grandma's house. It was like the tradition. Lunch was at like 1 o'clock every Sunday. And we would all be there. We would watch WWF, and then we would go down to the basement, and we would just beat the shit out of each other. I mean, that's what it was. Yeah. Like, we just...
Is it physical drama?
Have you seen the videos where those guys, they actually try to recreate, like, backyard wrestling? And they, like, jump off the roof of their house?
What? Yeah, I've seen some of these.
Have you never seen this?
I mean, I've seen stupid fail videos where people jump off the roof.
No.
It's worse.
They set up backyard...
This is way worse.
Backyard wrestling. And they're like... They have their own characters or whatever, and it's these dumb kids, and like they'll jump off the roof and like land the people's elbow on someone's chest while they're laying on a table that's set to break. It's the craziest shit I've ever seen.
They got like chairs set up as corners, and then or turnbuckles, and they'll like drape like string around so it's like the ring, and they're like doing suplexes and shit onto the grass and on the
you'll see, and they get some gnarly injuries too.
Dude,
gnarly injuries.
Anything's possible in this age, I guess.
Oh my god, and it's all backwoods white people. I'm not gonna lie, it's probably Arkansas.
Oh, you racist!
I'm being honest. I'm just telling you what I observed.
Yeah,
sir.
Like,
don't throw those words at me.
I know.
Anyway,
we gotta play politics a little bit. What were you doing? What was the post on Cortez? I don't know who the other one was. I just went blank on the image.
Cortez?
Because you had like there was
Alexandria.
Ocasio-Cortez.
I didn't watch that.
But who was the gentleman? It was a split. It was a split picture.
Did you have Bernie Sanders up there with her? Because that's the only person I could think of.
It may have been Bernie Sanders.
Oh, I don't know if that was just in the commercial. Like, because I put a poster of her and Bernie Sanders in my daughter's room and put makeup on her like she was possessed.
Yes, that whole
I cast out liberalism from her with Black Rifle Coffee.
That's right.
So that was the joke.
That's a good commercial.
She was yelling out phrases, like take common sense and shove it up your butt.
Yeah.
Ban assault weapons. What was it? Oh, not my president. She was just like. And then at the end, like when she was, made whole again, she wanted to go to the gun range. Like she's back.
That's
this is the idea.
So that's where I saw.
So
it.
I
was pretty funny.
Yeah, I put the posters out when I got them printed out, and I was like, try to guess how I'm going to use these props, like in this video.
Let me ask you a question. So I guess you've been in the social media game for a while. Like you would go all the way back to Vine.
Yeah.
Right. And I still never really watched Vine, but did it ever affect you at work? Like, did you ever get any? Did your bosses ever give you a hard time about making videos?
No, not really. Like everything came together at the right time for me. Mm-hmm. Like I couldn't have planned it that way. I'm grateful for it because, it didn't get shut down.
Mm-hmm.
And I need this because like I'm an entrepreneur at heart. Like I need this outlet because all the boring details aside, I basically had come to the end of my career as far as the only other things in front of me in the foreseeable 5 to 6 years was patrol and being a field training officer.
Right.
And when like I've worked for some very busy departments, so like once you've hopped so many fences and chased so many cars and gotten in so many fights, it's kind of like, okay, I need something new to keep me interested. You know, I love law enforcement, which is why like this is another outlet for me to be able to still be in that field and do something positive, but not have to like depend on working 12 and 16-hour days to do it. But what helped me, the first thing was that I was already doing, I started blogging. I think I mentioned that earlier. Like I made a website, coplife.net, which it's probably porn now. I just deleted it now, which is not a bad idea, really. Cop porn probably do really, really well. Like, I don't know if I,
you know,
but the thing was I had started that and people received it really, really well. And I was just being myself. I just like started putting thoughts down, and short little things that, you know, I felt like I could relate to, people related to. It was received well. That led into the organization Humanizing the Badge. So then everything was always basically giving back to the law enforcement community. So there was no, you know, I didn't start with, I guess, the idea of I should make videos and be cool or popular on the internet or whatever. It was not like ever what happened. I started making videos because I had to, because we looked at Facebook, which back in the day, like, if you had 30,000 people on your page, 29,000 of them saw your post.
Yeah.
In late 2014, early 2015. That's just the way it was. But toward the end of 2015, things were changing, and we're like, man, you know, what are we gonna do? So I'm like, I could try making videos, like, because I saw Officer Daniels, and I'm like, this guy's hilarious, and if it's working for him, maybe it can work for us.
Yeah.
So that's where it started. My very first video was like, I just played off of Vines. So like, why you always lying, like thing, like I did that with a kid's put a vape pen, like how much weed's in the car, and he's like blows out a big smoke, like none. I'm like, why you always lying, like that, and, like cop captain, like talking like an air pilot, you know, like to a bad guy in the back, like all this stuff was just like parodies of popular Vines, but put in a cop context, just to get attention on the page, just to like drive traffic. And so I'm like, I combed over our social media policy, and the only caveat really was you can't be on social media and do something that would reflect negatively on the department or the profession.
Yeah.
Like, okay. So I sent an email off to admin, like, here's what I'm doing. And it wasn't, Mike the cop didn't exist.
Right.
Just a guy named Mike as an admin on Humanizing the Badge page on Facebook existed. So I said, this is what we're going to do. I'm going to be on video. I'll, you know, blur our patches or whatever else. And they're like, let's see how it goes. They kind of like gave me the green light. So then I started just kind of like making videos and blurred the stuff out. And then I had a sergeant that was real smart, because I was doing like Periscope. Like I was writing reports at 4 in the morning. And I just turned on Periscope, went live. People loved it, dude. I did K9 stuff. Like Periscope kind of died out because that became porn too.
Yeah, it got real weird real quick.
Porn ruins everything, man.
Well, I don't say everything.
But so we go through all this, and then I started noticing, I felt like, okay, now this video personality is starting to kind of overshadow what I really feel like Humanizing the Badge is about. And that's when like the Mike the Cop thing started in like 2016. Like, okay, now I'll do Mike the Cop, and Mike the Cop will be a champion for the Humanizing the Badge cause. You know, that made more sense to like create brand awareness through more of like a personality thing. So that's where that started. And so I was going, nobody said a word to me. I had a sergeant say like, hey, punch out for lunch. When you make a video, when you go live, just use that as your lunch break.
Right.
Just, nobody had a problem, but they're like, just in case somebody ever says, why am I paying this cop to be live on the internet?
Yep, exactly.
I'm like, yeah, that's genius, you know? So I started using it wisely. Eventually that grew into, it's so much easier to make this when I'm not working. Fake badge, you know, fake uniform, like an old top or whatever. Like a lot of the times I would use the cop cars, but I was off duty, and it was a broken down beater. It wasn't like nothing was really happening. It was in a closed lot, you know, all this other stuff. And then one day the big boss is walking through the hall and is like, hey, I saw one of your videos the other day. And I'm like, oh, here it is. And he's like, so he's like, my kids were laughing, and they're like junior high at the time. kids are laughing. I went in the kitchen, like, what are you laughing at? They're like, look at this guy. And they were watching one of my videos. And he's like, so I was like, I can't get my kids to laugh at cop stuff. He's like, so whatever you're doing, keep doing it.
Oh, awesome.
Yeah. That opened the door for me to go to the schools and all that stuff. Well, then we had a change of leadership. And it wasn't anything immediate, but I called him one day. We were doing a fundraiser for Kilted to Kick Cancer. So these guys, Motor Cop and Happy Medic, and they had this podcast and they do this nonprofit. They're like, hey, would you just get a kilt and throw a party and raise some fun? Yeah, sure. Well, I'll drink beer and wear a kilt. Sign me up. Yeah. So 511 has a tactical kilt. I got it, And so I called the new boss and I was like, hey, so here's the deal. Fundraiser. I want to come in on my off day. I want to film people's reactions to me wearing all cop gear, only I'm changing out my pants for a kilt. And when they ask about it, I'm going to tell them this is for a fundraiser. Here's where you can go. Money's not coming to me. I don't get a cut. It's all for this cause. And I'm going to have to run that by the city just in case. Like, okay. So I hear back, green light. So I get an old blacked out Crown Vic. It's like literally was like the last Crown Vic in the fleet. And it drove to the left. Like literally, you had no choice. Right? So I take this car out and no reactions, dude. I swear to you, I was out there for 2 hours. Not a single person made a comment about it. Nobody. How you doing, officer? Hey, what's up? And just I'm standing there. I went to Walmart. I'm like, surely Walmart is going to know it. Like, and then I thought that backfired. That backfired. But nobody. I was like, this is boring. I said, who will react? Because I was going into the schools a lot to just build a rapport with the kids and all this stuff and learn about social media, what works and what doesn't. And so I go to the school and I park outside. Now, I have an expensive camera, and so I'm holding it. It was like 100 degrees out, dude. I'm not leaving in the car. I'm talking to the bus drivers. I'm like, hey, what do you think of the new outfit for the police department? They're like, oh, that's weird, like laugh, ha, ha, ha. And the kids are coming out of school. I'm like, whatever, blah, blah, blah. So I'm like yucking it up with some of the kids that I know, whatever. And the next morning, I actually, for some reason, get a call, and I'm talking to one of my partners at work who's working that day. He's like, I hear the ding on the computer that he's getting a call. He's like, you're not going to believe this. So he sends me a screenshot, and they got called. The security guy at the high school called because a strange man in a fake police car wearing a skirt was filming children.
That's best.
So as soon as that dispatch call came out, within 5 minutes, my phone was blowing up from administration. Like, if there's any footage of kids, take it down right now. What were you thinking? I'm like, whoa. I got permission to be out there from you.
Yes.
So hold on a second. And there's no footage of kids. I was just holding the camera because it was hot, and I wasn't going to leave it in the car. I said, and the moron security guard waved at me when I was pulling in.
The guy calling, like, hey,
I'm like, what the heck, man?
Oh, shit.
So, I went into the school after that. I'm like, dude, what's wrong with you? He's like, I didn't know it was you, man. I was just, whatever. That's about as close as I came to getting in trouble. Yeah. I afterward... Now, after I stopped working at that department, I quit my full-time gig in last summer and went part-time at a different department. And they called because there was a new city administrator that does not like the cop videos, thinks I'm extremely unprofessional and a disgrace to policing and all that stuff. So then I got a call from the admin like, you got to take this one down and this one down and this one down. I'm like, yeah, okay.
Thank you, but no thank you.
Have a good day.
Yeah. I'll be seeing you.
No.
Oh. What do you... Okay, so people blow me up all the time on how to grow social media. Okay, so I'm not going to ask that broad of a question. What do you find that people respond most to?
Authenticity.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's what I keep saying, man.
And there's really just no explanation for it, man. It's like, why are some assholes rich? And some people who are really hardworking and have a great ethic and great character and integrity struggle. Yeah. Sometimes it's they need to learn. They need to know how to handle money or something like that. Maybe they don't know, but you get my point. Like, so why does Jason get cancer and then some Elon Musk doesn't?
Right.
I don't know.
Yeah.
Like, why an axe murderer lives to be 101 and
right.
You and we're all dead from whatever. Smoke one cigarette, get lip cancer. I don't know. Like, that's just life, right?
Yeah.
So I see that on social media because I see a lot of content creators who I think are genius. And I'm like, why aren't they like larger than they are as far as like people who follow them or engagement. I'm like, this guy's amazing or this girl's amazing at what they do or whatever. And then other people are doing the stupidest shit, and they're really complete assholes, and they're huge. And you're like, you're literally not even creative. This is retarded. Like, and you're like, why?
And there's 6 million followers.
Like, yeah. So there's a part of me that's like there is no way to crack that code. Any more than anything else in life, I think, because I think in a lot of ways social media is an extension of our experiences as people. So I think it translates in a lot of ways. But I don't know, man. I think I never have cared how many likes I get. I've never cared how many comments. I'll notice like, man, I thought that this video would have been better received or not or whatever. But I've learned that there's just no predicting. Some days you get hit with the Facebook algorithm that just sucks. It just is what it is. And other times, some people, you put in, like, I did this cop aerobics video a couple weeks ago on a freaking whim. It took me 30 minutes to film it. Oh, now the news wants an interview. Now this happened. Like, I literally thought about this sitting on my couch, like eating Cheetos or something. Like, what? How did this happen?
I know that was a funny answer.
I'm following up with cop yoga.
You got to do that. That's
downward canines coming.
I don't know. Social media is so fucking weird, right? Was it 5-6 years ago? Cops being famous on social media, like that was not a thing.
Yeah, look at the hashtag Thin Blue Line now, dude. It's
dude,
on Instagram, it's like there's a large law enforcement community on Instagram.
Well, there is, and there's a large amount of people who want to support law enforcement, which is nice because we've taken a lot of shit the last few years. Yeah, so it's nice to see. It's nice to see a lot of support, and it's nice to see a lot of people seeing, like what you do, Officer Daniels, a lot of guys. With the humanizing the badge stuff, with your videos, humanizing police officers, letting everybody see, man, they're just regular people. And I remember I was at work. We were my partner and I were interviewing somebody on something, and he said something to him, and I thought it was great. It was genius. He was like, "Look, man, we're no different than you. This is our job. But hey, I go fishing when I'm off work. I go run down to this place. I go here. I do the same shit that you do and everybody else does. It's just when I'm at work, this is what I'm doing." He was trying to build rapport. Yeah. But it's a good point. It's something I don't think a lot of people see, or they just see uniforms and they just see whatever prejudices they already have towards police officers, and it's kind of cool to see what you guys do. But social media is so bizarre to me. It's still bizarre to me.
It's crazy, man, because I've arrested people who recognize me from videos.
That's
and they're
hilarious.
Like, oh man, or whatever, and we'll have a conversation, and another cop sent me an Instagram message today. It was like, dude, I arrested a guy last night who was drinking and had a pistol on him or whatever, so he's like, I don't know how I came up, but he's like, "Put this on video so I can send it to the cop." He's like, I'm like, what the heck?
That's kind of awesome, though.
What in the world?
You've reached out, man. You're making inroads with the other side.
It's ironic with all the cop hate, too, because it's so funny that most cop haters love big government, but then hate cops that are agents of said government.
So confusing.
What is wrong with you? This makes no sense.
No, I like when you call them out, too. You'll post their stuff and... Yeah,
I've invited this one guy. Like, I love it. Like, I've turned it like, it's hard to get it through their heads. Like, you understand that by continuing to comment on something that's 2 weeks old, you're keeping it alive, and I'm gaining followers. You're literally sabotaging your own ideology here. Like, do you understand this? I don't think you do.
You don't.
And then we try to me and my son are going back and forth with this one guy still on a post from a few days ago. Like, hey, come on my YouTube channel live. I'll talk to you live. I did it. I did it before the cop hater, and he told me that it was impossible to conceal carry a pistol in shorts. Well, we were talking about the Daniel Shaver case, where he had the basketball shorts on, and the cop shot him in the hallway at the hotel or whatever. Yeah. And I'm like, I think the shooting was tragic, but my point was, he could have a gun in basketball shorts. No, he couldn't. It's impossible. I've tried. I'm like, I'm telling this guy live on my YouTube channel who's a cop hater. I'm like, I'm telling you, I wear a gun in my basketball shorts, or in my bathing suit, or in my freaking jeans, in my sweatpants, all of them.
Yeah.
And then so the next day I did a video jumping up and down, doing jumping jacks, rolling downstairs, all with a gun in my freaking basketball shorts that were oversized.
Hilarious.
The challenge would be skinny jeans.
Yeah, there you go.
I want to see somebody can still.
I kind of
carry
have skinny jeans. These are like pajama jeans. These are amazing. They're not
Oh,
skinny
they're
jeans,
like
but they're
stretchy?
pajama jeans. Oh, dude.
Oh,
They're like,
Are
I
those
can
like
squat
those Rogan
down.
jeans? You know the Rogan's got like the stretchy.
Yeah, but I haven't
ones
seen
with
it.
the
It's
thick
like
thighs.
I always say I'm going to go look at them.
It's got a stretch to it, and I can just squat right down because you know that's important.
Just in case you get in a fight on the street.
Just in case in your
You don't want your
jeans.
pants to rip.
Dude, actually, like if I did get in a fight, these would be amazing to grapple in. These are like perfect tailored gi pants. They're amazing.
Oh, see?
Rock Republic. I don't get paid by that. I got them at Kohl's, like $30.
Republic?
Yeah.
Rock Republic. Okay, I
Rock
gotta remember
Republic.
They're not called pajama jeans. I don't know what they're called. My wife gets them. I don't go shopping, but
that. We'll call them Jamma jeans.
Rock Republic.
I call them my pajama jeans.
Yeah.
Sounds like an affliction brand or something.
Whatever. Hey, if they're good
Look,
and
man,
it's
if
at
they
Kohl's,
work-
that means they're not going to be crazy priced.
30,
I'm in,
30
man.
bucks? That's about the right price.
Yeah, so I bought
That's my
bought
budget.
4 pairs up and just rotated
Yeah.
through, man.
Shit, that's the best.
Pretty cool.
So trolls, how do you deal with trolls?
It depends. Sometimes
There's levels of trolls.
yeah, so like sometimes the best response is just to sort of like kill them with kindness.
Yeah.
Because they're trying to do is get a response out of you, right? So like that's their win. If
Right.
they can get me to get angry, if they can get me to get upset, they win. They don't.
Right.
They're not genuinely interested in dialogue. They're not interested in their mind being changed. They're not open to that at all. All they're doing is trying to get a rise. So I try. I'm not perfect. It's an art form, right? So I try to kind of judge where it's going, and then I'll just heap on the kindness. You know, and I'll pile it on like sarcastic everything to where they're just not getting what they came for, right?
Yeah.
So that's one option. Option 2 is pose questions. Like if I feel like this person has a perception that is false,
Yeah.
I'll ask good leading questions
Yeah.
back to them to kind of gauge, are they really interested in this? So then like that's led in a lot of cases to some people going like, yeah, okay, I didn't know that, or that makes sense.
Yeah.
Still had bad experiences with cops, right? Like, and that's where most of the people whose perception can be changed is they had a bad experience with cops that they're then projecting on every single cop as like,
Yeah.
As a
I
profession.
think that's few and far between. That there's not many of those that you can bring around, or do you find that there are a decent amount?
A memorable amount of
Wow,
people
okay.
who say like, yeah, you really, you and Officer 401 and all these other YouTubers and all this stuff like really, I used to hate cops. We get that pretty regularly.
Okay.
So, I try to ask intelligent questions and converse with them intelligently. And lately my thing has been like invite them on live Instagram. Like this guy's just running away from it. He says he won't. Of course he won't do it. I'm like, I won't even prepare. I even promised them. I'm like, we can talk whatever you want. A conversation, formal
Yeah.
debate, whatever. I won't even prepare. I'll just talk to you, because it's not really about facts. It's per se. It's about perception and correcting it with principles.
Right.
It's easy.
Yeah. That's not challenging.
No.
No. I think facts are triggers for a lot of people.
Yeah.
So
it's not,
if you can- yeah,
it's
if
not
you
a
can-
safe zone.
No, it's not a safe zone. This is blah. Okay, well, here's the data. Oh, that's fucked up. Whoa, and you inflame them more, and it gets ugly. And I'm not going to use specifics.
Well, where'd you get that? It's not my experience.
Yeah.
Oh,
I try to like really just lay it out when it comes down to like the bottom line is, are they truly interested in their mind even being open to being changed?
Yeah.
Right? Because I would wholeheartedly say I'm open to my mind being changed about the realities of policing in the world. But only one of us has been a police officer in this world. When I had that conversation, I'm like, so, how do you want to proceed? Look,
Yeah.
I can only talk based on my experience, and you can talk on yours. But are you even open? I can say I'm open to seeing that I'm wrong.
Yeah.
Show me where the majority of cops are racist, and I'll change my mind, right, or something like that. But if they're saying the majority of cops are racist, then I can say, okay, I disagree with that. If I showed you information that was contradictory to that, would you actually change your mind, or do you just want to hold on to that idea? And if they run away, then they just want to hold on to their idea.
Yeah.
They're not interested in actually.
Yeah.
engaging. So I try to gauge it. So, and sometimes like I'll melt them. If I see the easy field goal, I will jump on top. I will melt them and I will pin them at the top of YouTube. And I love those where it's like 180 comments, like, oh, this guy just got piled on, and then they delete their comment, which is like, man, I love that.
That's the ultimate.
I go take a cold shower.
When they delete their comment, you're like, you just ducked your tail and ran.
So it's kind of like, it's just, I gotta try to gauge it, but I'm not perfect at it. Sometimes, like, I know I've been a dick to people that probably didn't have it coming, or I've probably been too nice to people that probably should have been smacked around intellectually, but
you gotta do it. You gotta play the game. Roll the dice a little bit. Right?
Yeah.
But I like poking the bear a little bit.
Yeah.
No, you definitely like poking the bear.
You know, just, and then, because that's that whole thing. It's just kind of like, it is too easy, Google, and say, what is the best way to not deal with or to not promote or to harm someone I disagree with? Mm-hmm. Ignore them. Mm-hmm. Don't let their stuff stay on your screen too long. Don't like it. Don't click it. Don't scroll past it twice. Don't comment on it. And that's how you kill things. That's your voice.
You know what?
They can't do it.
You know what I think kind of works a little bit? Because I'm starting to get a little bit of trolling. Not a lot, because not that many people follow me. But like, I still, like, I get it. And I'll be like, fuck, man, what's wrong with you? I'm just trying to help some people out, give people ideas. That's it. That's all I'm trying to do.
What was it? Shut up and fucking train or something?
So, yeah, when I did that, right? Well, I was getting stupid shit like, I see that's a good technique, but unless someone trains a lot, they're never going to be able to do that. I'm like, do you not read all the shit I write below the video where it says you must train on a regular, consistent basis in order to be able to do something like this? I'm just giving you ideas of what you could do. Obviously not. But but actually what I've done is, usually when I see like shitty comments, I don't delete them and I don't respond to them. I just leave them there. And what I've noticed is most people that follow you like you for some reason or another, right?
Yeah.
They'll jump in. They'll just start piling on the guy. And sometimes it gets so bad, I just delete it for them because I feel like, okay, now it's getting ugly. And I don't want ugliness on the page. I just, but a lot of times the people that follow you will kind of take care of it
That's
for
one
you.
of the hardest things for me. So I've since deleted them because I just get frustrated with it. But I've done things on shooting, I've done things on fitness, I've done things on nutrition, I've done things to where here's a snapshot of a very specific instance, and this is how you deal with that very specific instance or occurrence or diet, whatever it is. Pick any of them, right? And I'll state that, and I wind up writing a little bit extra text than probably what I should, and you just get fucking hammered. Oh, well, but what if this, and what if that, and what if this, and what if... I'm like, just, God, just read the fucking post. Like, seriously, like, really, like, am I having to entertain this?
Yeah.
And that's where I get frustrated with it, because then I'm like, stop, man.
My go-to lately has been the kissy face emoji to say, like, I love it when I said, like, I love it when cop haters show up on my page. It helps me grow because it shows YouTube that there's interaction in the comments. So invite all your friends if their moms will let them out of the basement. Like, I just like pile on it, but I'm being like kind of like backhandedly nice to them and just like a bunch of kiss face emojis. Like, invite more people, man. Keep commenting. I love it. And then like they'll be back the next week like, oh, my biggest fan is back. Thank you so much for your support, for helping the channel grow. Like, it's like just like do it that way.
Yeah,
it's fun.
I need to get good at that part of it. Because I can instigate it. I love to instigate it. But then there's some of them just like, this is so randomly uncalled for. I'm like, oh, well, this is a pretty sunset. Fuck your mother. What's
there is literally nothing. I can't do. Like, I posted a picture of, I don't even know what it was. It was a meme, like something about the whole, there was like some carpet store, and it was like, cover your whole for 99 cents or something like that.
That's awesome. Yeah. You have to.
Even then, somebody was like, the top comment was like, are you going to pretend everything's just peachy between the police and the communities? I'm like, what the hell, man?
I'm just trying to patch your hole.
I posted a meme about buttholes and carpet. Like, what are you talking about? I'm like, this doesn't even have anything to do with law enforcement, you weirdo. Like, the cops aren't installing your carpet. Relax. Like, geez.
Or are they?
Or are they?
See? That's what you do on the weekends.
What?
Jiu-jitsu. Mm-hmm. Whatever.
Orange carpet.
You rolling carpet.
Maybe.
Oh, is that?
You don't know what
your
I
butt
do.
on it.
You don't know what I'm doing on the weekends.
Special textured little Berber carpet in the I know what's going on, man.
I kind of like the old 70s style with the shag.
Yeah.
Kind of feels good.
It's kind of like this.
You do have 70s style carpet in here.
You like that?
I do. I'm
It's
about
blue.
to take my shoes off and start rubbing my feet on it.
It's make you feel like you're in Florida on the beach.
Makes me feel like in my grandma's house. That's what makes me feel like.
It smells better.
Just use some plastic furniture.
It smells way better. Well, like get there. I don't want to keep you too long, man. So
Keep me as long as you want.
I'm wide. I mean, I'll go till 3 o'clock.
Are we gonna take our shirts off or what?
Isn't that what came here for?
I mean, I was excited. I used moist wipes and
Actually, I don't
everything
want to take
earlier,
my
man.
shirt off next to this guy. Jesus
Yeah, no
Christ.
kidding.
Have you ever seen him?
I'm
He's
looking
got like
at him right
billion
now. I can't stop. I can't stop.
Whoa. It's gonna get real in a second.
When he said he had 100,000 followers on his original YouTube channel, I'm like, I'm not surprised. I'm sure they're all chicks and interesting guys.
Pretending to be chicks.
Yeah.
It was like 1% chicks.
Yeah, I was trying to make a little Photoshop. My Photoshop skills are
They're getting better. Come on,
white
man.
level, or white belt level. But
yeah,
I'm
you got
on,
like, you're at full steam ahead with the Photoshop.
I'm at the white belt level with my Photoshop. So I'm going through this guy's page. I gotta find the right head angle to fit on what I was trying to do. And it's like shirtless pic, shirtless pic, shirtless pic, shirtless pic in a thong, shirtless pic, shirtless pic, shirtless pic. I'm like, Jesus Christ!
I try to make sure I wear pink
this
thongs.
is the weird
though.
part. So I'm actually it's at the end of work, and my partner's coming by, and I'm like, so I'm scrolling through your shit. And I'm like, well, I don't want him to see this. I think I'm looking up some freaking dude in thongs and shirtless pics. So I'm like angling my phone. Hey, what's up, man? What are you doing? Hey, I'm just getting ready to head out. We're going to the Clute for the weekend. Oh, that's cool. That's cool. And he keeps kind of coming at an angle towards me, and I'm just like keep angling my phone. Finally, I just had to shut the page off. I'm like, yeah.
See, here's the short answer to that.
What's the Clute?
Or well, he's going out to his property near Clute, Texas.
It's
an
not-
area
it's
of
a
Texas.
place.
Yeah,
It's a
place,
place.
yeah.
I'm sorry.
Oh, I thought you were like going out to the club and then they're going out to the Clute. Like, what is this?
Like,
Like, what's going on down here?
that's where we're going at 10 o'clock.
Well,
so
yeah, we're going to the
prepare
Clute
yourself.
off this and that here next, and we're going to show you some interesting stuff.
But see, just hit me. Just be like, send me a picture, like blah.
Well, I needed a
Click.
specific angle to make the Photoshop work.
Yeah.
So this is my
I think it's
this is
easy.
what I'm doing with Photoshop now, because I was trying to blend it and make it perfect. It's fucking really hard. So then I thought, well, I'll just go the opposite angle, make it look ridiculous, like just a larger head just plopped on top of a body. And
Sometimes
it's-
bad Photoshop is funny
it's-
Photoshop.
yeah,
actually better.
I figured. So
Yeah.
if I do the bad Photoshop, that's way better than trying to actually do it the way like
Right.
Classy, who we're going to have on
Yeah.
soon. This guy named Classy Grappler. Do you know who he is?
Mm-mm,
Okay.
I don't think so.
He does like a shit ton of memes. You've probably seen his memes.
He's one of the people that made Vine go to porn to shut it down.
Probably. He got me in trouble at
You'll
work.
see.
Actually, speaking about getting in trouble at work, he got me in trouble at work. So my best friend Ronnie, he's a black belt, like sambo, jiu-jitsu, all this stuff. Anyway, he makes a ton of memes. And when he targets in on you, he'll make a ton of memes about you. And they're not good ones. So he did Ronnie and I, and because we're best friends, there's always, these little homo jokes and whatever. And he had one of us nude laying on a couch with our heads on there, like snuggling, right? And just within 5 minutes of that one getting posted, I get a little chirp from my captain. We probably need to stop with some of these Photoshop memes on your page. And I was like, oh, okay. So then I hit Ronnie.
You
up.
just
I was
unfriend him.
no.
Yeah,
That would be a worse mistake. I just hit Ronnie up and I
That's
said,
exactly what I would do.
I hit Ronnie up and said, hey, man, you need
Problem
to stop.
solved.
Adios.
You won't see any more of those memes, sir.
No.
Probably wouldn't even know.
No.
Usually people that are like that wouldn't even know you unfriended them. I took care of the meme problem. Oh, thank you.
It's cured.
Well, anyway. Yeah, he got me. His Photoshop's got me in trouble at work.
Gotta love it.
Do it with Bert and Ernie now. I mean,
Speaking of, I've been paying more attention. Like, since I started posting more jiu-jitsu stuff,
Yeah.
then more jiu-jitsu stuff shows up in my timeline on Instagram.
Yeah.
So then I started following these different accounts. But BJJ Problems, they make all these memes or whatever.
Yeah.
They started shit on my account too.
What do you mean?
I posted a picture when I got my new gi, first time at work. Like, you can't teach heart.
Oh, yeah.
I disagree. And then some fight broke out about whether you can teach heart
Bro,
or not. I'm like,
you know what that's from?
can we just not talk?
Dude,
Be happy about
no.
jiu-jitsu?
You know where that's from? So there's this whole fucking thing now. Because Gracie Baja. The
Yeah.
whole thing is jiu-jitsu for everybody, right?
In theory.
Yeah.
Right.
yeah.
So doing, I was like, you can't teach hard. It's like something you got to have, right? Which a lot of people generally speak, agree with.
Yeah, you can inspire, you can motivate it, but there's no course for it.
Out of nowhere, maybe this came from you. Maybe you instigated this. Suddenly, there's like this freaking there's this controversy between like Gracie Baja and everybody else with you can't teach hard, and you're like. I think Flavio Almeida or one of the top Gracie Baja guys came out. You can teach heart, and that's why you go to train. And this is what we do at our academy. Big old postings getting shared. It's so fun. I didn't even realize that came from you.
I was like, okay, I guess.
I think that's where that came from. There's like this whole thing.
Well, I have it though. So in your face, like, what am I supposed to say to that? Like, it was like, I just think it's somebody. So people got back and forth in the comments, and there's like, the BJJ problems was like, I think it's just an elitist attitude to think that you possess something that somebody else can't have, and I'm just like,
I think you're missing the point.
We want to encourage people to have heart. What we're saying is, it's not like learning a technique.
Yeah.
Right.
Like you have to develop this desire to be better yourself, like to have the heart. Like you can have it. I just can't give it to you like I can give you technique.
I think you just started a huge internet war between Gracie Baja and everybody else. You didn't even realize.
With everybody that could all beat me up.
Yeah. Oh man, that's funny. Yeah, I saw that today, as a matter of fact.
So is it like?
And I was like, where did that come from?
People just like to fight on the internet, man. About anything.
They do. It's crazy.
I tried that. I posted something to see if I could. I was having a group text with a couple of buddies of mine, and I posted. We looked up city or something like that on Google, and just took the picture, and we put only in America on the bottom. We didn't even spend time thinking of the picture. We were thinking what caption is so generic, and I just posted on my thing. First of all, it had like 2,000 some likes. Why? Why? Why did you like this photo? What the fuck is in this picture that you like? People on a crosswalk? You like this? Why? What's interesting about this?
Insane.
So then all these comments like, I don't get it. What am I missing? And then there's theories emerge about what it is. And then people started fighting over their theories. It was brilliant. I'm like, it wasn't as angry as I thought it would be because it was more confusing than it was like divisive. But I was trying to like not put something up that would be slanted. I just wanted it to just like put it out there and see what would happen.
Yeah.
It's a little social experiment.
Yeah, that's pretty.
That's kind of. I like that.
That's pretty fun.
Just take a generic word, any generic word, Google it. The very first image doesn't matter. You've got to take that image, put it in an Instagram post, only in America.
You started shit on the internet.
and just do it this way.
I do it every day.
Just make it great again.
Make it great again.
Yeah.
But like a picture of
people just fill in the gaps with
like
whatever
make it like
whatever
picture
their
of
team
Lithuania
Yeah.
or something.
Or just say great again.
Yeah.
Just great again and then go on.
Dude, if you say anything like that, it's immediately going to blow up because of the Trump factor.
I have people telling me they were so glad I was a Trump supporter, which I actually didn't vote for the guy, but because I had an exorcist daughter in a skit say "not my president," so she's like, "I'm so glad to see you're a fellow Trump supporter." I'm like, bro, she wasn't possessed. No. She didn't say that.
She wasn't
it's
actually
fake.
possessed.
Like, what is wrong with
the
you?
Catholic Church didn't call you? And how did you perform this exorcism with this
you
coffee?
You have the right to do that?
What?
Who knows?
Was the Holy Cross on the coffee? Like you can confuse the Catholic Church now.
Catholic Church is
very
confused right now.
The Catholic Church is very confused right now. Oh my goodness!
How do we keep we can't hide it anymore. What do we do? Where do we put? Where do we put them all?
Yeah,
that's so bad. I get.
As a Christian myself, I'm all for thinning the herd right now.
You're not lying about that.
Be a great way to start thinning.
Yeah,
that one just.
Yeah, when it comes to who's going first, I have an idea.
Yeah. It's a rather good idea.
Christ.
There's a big movement. I saw some priest. I'm not Roman Catholic, but I saw a priest on Twitter recently, and he's really become an outspoken advocate and growing for letting priests marry, because there's no doubt in my mind that this is the wall that pedophiles or people with sexual dysfunction or disorders only perpetuates it.
Yeah.
What are you going to do if you can only yank on yourself? My goodness.
Exactly. Something's going to happen.
That creates a sexual problem.
Something is going to happen. Yes. Quickly. Very quickly.
So, yeah.
Yeah, Catholic Church has a lot to do with it. I agree with that. I used to be Catholic before I converted to atheism. Actually, it's not really a conversion. You just decide you're atheist.
Interesting conversation. I don't want to forget. Born again pagan. There's a conversation. There's a conversation between a guy that wrote a book, Born Again Pagan, and Timothy Keller, who's like an intellectual, like Christian guy, like whatever. Anyway, continue. You're an atheist.
So you threw me off with that one, but anyway, I I forgot where I was going. I think I was talking about the Catholic Church, and
then you became an atheist.
Yeah, so that's the end of it. You just screwed it all up.
I'm sorry.
But I'm a born again pagan now.
Can you think of any? I've studied boatloads of theology and religion and all this. I can't think of any reason for them to be celibate.
Oh, that's what I was talking about.
None.
Oh yeah.
No, but it's not. It's not. Well, it's not
go.
in the Bible. Number one.
Right.
But when I was Catholic, that was like a big conversation. Should priests be allowed to marry?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, it was a big conversation in the church. And it was a lot of people, like, not a lot, because a lot of people in the Catholic Church love to grab on to dogma and love to grab on to tradition. No, nothing could change. And priests, they can't be married because they're married to Jesus, which sounds weird.
Yeah.
A little bit.
Yeah, maybe that's part of the problem. But, yeah, there was a big push to have priests married. There's a lot of priests that were known to have relationships outside of church.
Well, there are Eastern Rite and Orthodox, the Eastern version of Catholicism, as it were. They have married priests, or if they were already married, there are exceptions. That there are Roman Catholic priests who are married because they were married before they entered the priesthood. They've made exceptions or whatever. They converted from Eastern Rite to Western Rite or whatever. But it's all nonsense. But it comes from the Apostle Paul saying it's better not to marry,
right?
Because with marriage comes troubles, and if that's not the fucking absolute truth, 100% right? True. It's for better or for worse, because there's always a worse.
Exactly. Otherwise,
this is
marriage,
need that
in there,
right?
Yeah.
So I think this is the genesis comes from, well, if Paul says it's good, Jesus was single, Paul was single, so we should strive to be like that. But ironically, the first pope, supposedly, Peter, had a mother-in-law. So
maybe it's not all right.
I don't know.
And as
I agree with you. That's not in the Bible. This idea that it literally, like, the qualifications for a pastor in the Bible are like to be the husband of one wife, because back then you might have a few.
Yeah.
And Paul is saying, like, listen, dude, you got enough on your plate. You got 2 wives. You don't need to be leading a church. Just handle your wives, because you've got a lot going on.
That's enough. It's nothing bad, dude. It's nothing bad, dude. Just chill out. Take care of them.
Exactly.
So I would like to see that. I think that would be a good step in the right direction.
I think the Catholic Church is about to have they're about to have a huge thinning of the herd. I think their numbers are about to really decrease. I don't know. I don't know how you overcome a scandal that's this large with it so spread out,
dude,
all the way
away
to the Pope. But it's getting like,
it's like it seems like it dissipated and then it's like just roars back.
Yeah.
Well, then it comes up and the Pope is aware of this stuff, and these priests being moved around, and then, gosh, the deal in Pittsburgh was like 300 something. Like the number of priests involved.
What was that movie
in
that came out? I think that was in Boston, though, right?
You're talking about Netflix.
Oh, who was it? Michael Keaton was in it, and he was a reporter, and they wanted they break this big story, and it was a big deal because it's Boston, which is like as Catholic as it comes.
Yeah.
So,
well, there's a good story. There's a good show on Netflix
though,
where this girl was murdered, or I can't remember if she was murdered, but basically she went to like a Catholic school, girls' school. And the priest had, like, in this story, they had a whole system set up for how they would mark girls who were using for sex.
Really?
And they were doing all this weird shit to them, right? And it sounded almost too bizarre to be true. You're like, I don't know if some of this is true.
Yeah.
But then this shit comes out in Pittsburgh where they were literally giving them certain mementos on their body so that they knew, well, that girl, I can abuse that girl.
Jeez.
Like, it was a whole little system set up among the priests.
Gosh.
Have you read into this stuff?
No.
You've got to. It's bizarre. It's so sick. This is what I'm saying.
Is it bad that I feel like I could cap one of those guys right in the face and not have an ounce of guilt?
No, they deserve it every bit.
Wow.
What these guys did is something else. But yeah, they would give them mementos, like a special cross or something, and then other priests would see that and they would know, oh, she can be abused.
Wow.
Yeah.
And it goes back to what else? This sounds disgusting. Humans are disgusting. Okay.
Oh, we have the proclivity for amazingly evil things.
Yes. Mm-hmm. And so if you take somebody who has a moderate to high sex drive and they have no way of satisfying that for decades, the hell do you think is going to happen?
Oh, yeah.
Right.
Hello.
Yeah.
Well, it's going to come out.
How long will the fuse last until it reaches the bomb?
Exactly. It's just going to happen.
That's a very good way to put it.
It's going to happen.
I agree with that 100%.
I'm like,
yeah. No, I agree with you. I think we should line them up and
Yeah, so you didn't vote for Trump.
No.
I'm only saying that because people are going to immediately assume that you did.
No,
so
I didn't.
I'm going to revisit that.
I voted local stuff.
Yeah.
Voted for some judges.
A non-presidential vote.
But I did not cast a vote for either Trump or Hillary. I'm not a believer in you got to go with the lesser of two evils or that kind of a thing.
Yeah.
I certainly prefer the policy stance of Trump on a lot of things, but I don't really. At the end of the day, his person is the character. I don't buy it. I don't buy that he's like this guy that represents integrity and character among Republicans.
Does anybody believe that?
Yeah.
You know, I do think people believe that. Unfortunately,
Oh, wow.
Yeah. I think a lot of people believe this guy is like a good role model for people, but either way, no, I didn't vote because I don't buy into the lesser of two evils thing because I think my vote matters.
Yeah.
I think not casting it because I don't believe in either of them is worth it. Like if I just never voted and didn't care about anything on a local level, whatever, I think local politics is important, you know, because it has a direct impact on like what's going on in my life right here, right now. I mean, at the end of the day, the president's a sham anyway. The president does nothing.
Right.
Let's just be honest.
Right.
The
Be
president,
real. Yeah.
The president is so much more portrayed to be more powerful than he is or she is or whatever eventually. It's kind of like it's become a joke, right? Like, who are our choices in this election? If that doesn't scream this has become a joke, I don't know what does. So it's kind of like whatever.
Yeah.
It'd be great to see more parties emerge.
I'd love to see that.
It'd be fantastic. The problem is they lack a little bit of cohesion in terms of what the platform is, especially libertarian. There's a guy, Joe Rogan had him on running for
Mayor, New York.
New York.
Yeah.
Governor?
I'm sorry,
Governor of New York?
I just went blank on his name.
I can't remember his name either.
He's an interesting character.
But when he got pushed on a little bit, he didn't really have some of the answers that I thought, oh, this would be cool. Let's see how he holds up. And he didn't. Like, he was like, we're going to change education. Okay, well, how are you going to do it? We're just going to change it all. Okay.
You're like, wait, what? How's this going to work?
Right.
But I've watched him a lot before he was on Rogan's show. And he's one of the ones pushing the educational thing, like I told you.
Yeah.
He's like condensed high school down to 16. Like you're done. When you're 16, you're graduated from what is currently known as high school.
Yeah.
You still stay in public school, but then the last 2 years, or you play around in different trades and different things and figure out what you want to do before you go to college.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I would much rather have my kids have a basic logic and dialogue course than trigonometry.
Right. Yeah.
Like, let's learn how to talk. Let's learn how to make an argument for something that's based on, sound words and ideas.
Just a sprinkle of logic.
Just a little bit of basic logical fallacies, understand a good argument when you hear one, be able to make one, state your case. Like, this is a valuable tool for any job you do in life. So it's I would really wish that happened because it falls on me, right? So then I have to sort of like try to instill these things additional to whatever school's doing.
Well, and also it's kind of in counter to what most of the schools are doing.
Oh my goodness, it's ridiculous.
You have to unteach them to teach them.
Yeah.
And then teach them how to deal with the crap teachings to come around. Yeah, I know.
Absolutely.
He gets...
Absolutely.
I was like, oh, son of a bitch. And I'm laughing because my wife, she's a cheer coach at one of the high schools here. And I'm sitting here thinking to myself, I'm like, what would be worse? A local political conundrum or a conundrum within a cheer community? Like, what would you rather deal with? Like, which one would be worse? Cheer.
Yeah, probably.
Holy shit.
Yeah.
Dude,
is anything like Dance Moms or something,
It's like worse. It's just they're not 2 years old with a bunch of makeup on.
Right.
But I'm assuming that's what you're talking about with the Dance Moms. I was like, they're just older. So, you have these almost adults and then all this bickering and back and forth. And then let's go back to politics.
Is that do you think like people have this need for drama? Like even like we were talking, they'll argue about anything, right? Yeah. So like has it always just been that way?
We're problem solvers.
Is it just humanity? Right? Like if we lived in 1100, were people just dramatic about things that were in their sphere?
Yes, they just didn't have as much time to be dramatic. They still had to do your tasks, to get your food, to get your
Right.
things. So there just wasn't as much time.
And you wouldn't have known what was going on 5
Exactly.
miles down the road for 5 weeks.
Yeah.
You know, so
Right.
maybe you just didn't have the same amount of information to mess around with.
Exactly.
Maybe. I think people are naturally aggressive too, to some degree, and arguing is one way of getting aggression out.
Yeah.
Like, you're angry about stuff. It's kind of like with road rage. People get mad on someone cut them off. And then they get pissed off and they're chasing them down, they're flicking them off, and they're trying to get into a fight on the street, or at least pretend like they're going to get into a fight on the street.
Yeah.
It's because they've got all this built up anger. I think it's the same thing with drama and arguing, and it's somebody that you can put your frustrations out on,
Yeah.
or a way to get them out.
Yeah. I think
I
it's
prefer-
that. I also, I think it's problem solvers. We want to fix things and create things. And so if everything is pretty cool and chill and smooth, we'll poke a bear. Kick the dog,
I think
whatever.
I think especially dudes need a mission.
Yes.
So
Absolutely.
I think if they're not getting that, then I think problems happen.
Yeah.
I think
Big
you
problems.
gotta create problems,
Yeah.
right? So you need to get aggression out, like you were saying. Like you gotta do something. Like, we're wired for this.
Yeah.
So to try to stifle it, and I think that creates problems. I think it's a huge issue probably.
And our
with
world is
drama.
so small now. Social media. We have a value system issue. What's more valuable, a police officer and teacher, or the head guy at the Lakers?
Right.
Who's more valuable? And that's starting
monetarily.
Well, and that's what I'm saying is I think that's starting to come to head now. Is people are like, hey, why are all our teachers broke? Why are all our police officers broke? Why is everybody getting second and third mortgages and not making ends meet? And then now the kids are getting messed up, and there's more pressures. And then, wait a second, I think that's starting to come around a little bit now. And then that way,
How do you mean come around?
come around in the sense that people are becoming a little more knowledgeable of it,
More aware? Well, I don't think.
more aware of it.
Well,
Yeah.
I feel like people have always been aware that teachers are underpaid, cops are underpaid, firefighters.
it's more in their face
firefighters
now.
aren't underpaid. But everybody else is
Time for dollars. They're right on
Yeah.
right on target. They're fine.
I think so.
They're doing great.
If they get paid per naps in a 24-hour period, they're actually maybe overpaid. I don't know, but no, I don't. I'm not kidding.
No, I'm not either. That's why I'm kind of laughing. I'm like,
So-
Good thing is 70. I think it's like 73% or something along those. It's in the 70s of all firefighters in this country are volunteers. So that's good. Good for them.
oh, I like that then. Yeah.
Yeah.
Makes perfect sense,
Yeah.
especially my experiences.
But I think that's what it is. I think the value, I this conversation with this guy the other day. He pays a doctor a lot of money to feed him a bunch of shit that he comes to me that I correct, and then he actually gets better with the information I give him, which is free.
Mm-hmm.
It's not really free because I have 30, 40 years behind me of education on it. So it's a different thing. But that person still values the doctor's opinion more that they're
Yeah.
paying. So I think maybe that's a good parallel to kind of give you
I
on
guess
that one.
I mean I think I see where you're going, but I guess I understand that anything that's a government job is you're not going to get rich off of it unless you're not going to get wealthy off of it. That's
The only
not-
way that would happen is if we privatize the police.
which is not going to happen. They made a
That's
movie
it.
like that.
Although we almost ran into the chief of security on the way into the neighborhood. I don't know what was going
Oh,
on
that
with
guy!
that.
You
Like,
saw
it said
that. That's a
armed
little bit of a
chief.
scary,
here?
looking,
Yeah. I'm like,
It's probably an
I'm
off-duty
like-
cop though.
calm down, bro.
It's probably
All of our
are
armed
they
guys.
off-duty cops or are they security?
A couple are and a couple aren't.
So we
Yeah.
have I don't know if they do that up in Michigan, but we'll have it's like some of the extra jobs are you'll patrol neighborhoods in
There are
like
some
security.
neighborhoods in Detroit where the neighbors pool their money together
That's
to
what they do
pay
here.
for private
That's what
security.
they do
They're
here.
not cops though.
Oh no, well
okay.
they'll pay cops here. It's one of the ways we make play money.
Yeah.
They'll pay cops here and they'll buy them a car like that, and they'll just drive around looking for stuff. And if
Yeah.
anything actually happens, they'll call.
They've got to
whoever
call
the
in, yeah.
local jurisdiction is.
Right.
But yeah, we do that a lot. Actually, we take over a lot of jobs that maybe in other places security would do. They pay us
Yeah.
directly because basically, you're paying the same amount of money.
Mm-hmm.
But if you do a security company, you're paying a security company that money, and then they're $8-9 an hour, whatever.
You're getting all the
Security
benefits of the training and awareness
Yes.
and,
You're getting
and
an actual
communications.
cop
You're
out
getting
there
you're
that
getting a
can
lot
call-
more for your dollars.
right,
yeah,
and
for
you're paying
sure.
basically the same amount. So we do that here. I don't know if they do
They
that
have
in Michigan, but
it's not super common. It's not super common like it is other places, but
So
you
sorry
can
for
get
you guys.
extra jobs with permission, but it's not like usually in uniform. Like the exception to that was like Walmart at Black Friday for 3 days pays us like 2 guys and a boss to be on site to break up the ladies fighting over towels.
We do. I'm gonna say right now, we do a ton of extra jobs here in
Yeah.
Texas. Like a ton. We work everything.
Now they have privatized fire in a lot of places.
That makes a little bit more sense, though.
Literally, like
That's like the
you
old
pool
school
it
days.
together and you pay.
Yeah.
And if you did not pay and your house is on fire, sorry, you didn't pay.
I don't know about that. I mean, yeah, but
Yeah,
what about the house
is the problem
next
with
to
saying
them?
you're
What
libertarian.
about the house next to them?
Okay,
Well,
how
they
much
paid-
libertarian?
see what I'm saying? Like they paid, right? So you're protecting them by putting that house. That
Why
fire.
not privatize the police? Because
Why
then
don't they do it like old school days when they put out the fire? They just take all the property out of the house to pay for it.
I like that idea
That's
too.
what they used to
good
do.
Well, we also used to have to line up with buckets, and everybody was a firefighter back in the day. A little house in the prairie, you know, everybody was a firefighter. Why not privatize it? Because then you create competition in the market. Then you want to live in this neighborhood because the cops are awesome there.
Mm-hmm.
Like, why not?
I guess you could privatize it. We just still have the same regulations that city officials or that municipalities have. Or
Yeah, why
counties have.
couldn't the laws be the same, but the management be private?
My biggest fear on that, honestly, is the liabilities and lawsuits. There would be such a waste of lawsuit money,
There already is.
which I know there's a ton now. I just feel like
ton.
it
Every
would
time I've
just-
been sued, the city's paid out without question.
Yeah, no, they always pay out.
I had a
They pay
turd
out
get
every
6
time.
figures off of me for absolutely nothing. Nothing.
Maybe it would get better then. Maybe the private.
No,
Maybe
they
they
probably
would
just
have
get bigger
better attorneys.
payouts.
I always tell people, I was like, I actually believe that a lot of the criminal justice system needs to be reformed more than like you're talking about like rank and file like police officers.
Yeah. Oh,
Like,
yeah.
there's
Well,
some-
that's 100%.
There's some
Yeah.
court issues as far as what's allowed in court and what's not. You know, just ridiculous. You
That
can
gets
just
silly.
sue for anything, and you put a guy through the ringer. Like I had that hanging. I had 15 federal charges hanging over my head for like 2 years for nothing. Literally, it was made up. But it was like, so I wasn't like, I don't think I was like overly concerned. But I'm thinking sometimes I'd sit there and think to myself like, shit, dude. And I had an Obama appointed federal judge out of the circuit
crap.
court.
Yeah.
They do these things. I don't remember what it's called. It's almost like a mock. It's like a mock jury,
Okay.
and they have lawyers there on both sides, and they actually present their side of the case to a pool of I think it's like 6 people. It's like not a full size jury
Wow,
or whatever.
okay.
They're just test subjects. Like they're pulled
test
in,
group. Yeah.
and they listen. And they give their thoughts, and a judge gives their opinion, and then it's like this formalized thing, and then it's delivered to everybody in the case. Never heard of that. My judge that I would have appeared for if we would have gone to court, which I would have had to go to Cincinnati, by the way, for that circuit court, and then be there for God knows how long and whatever else,
Yeah.
just to defend myself from false accusations. So that judge reads in the Ferguson case into his opinion, which my deal happened in 2012
Oh.
or 2011. I take that back, 2011.
Okay.
So all of a sudden now you're going to take something that happens in 2014 and you're going to read it back into something that happened in 2012. Dude, that's not okay.
Right.
That's like not how judging works.
Right.
So I was like, well, thank God they settled it then, because I might have really been up a creek.
Yeah, you could have been screwed on
because
that one.
what
Yeah.
looked bad? Oh, dash cam looked terrible. But what are you going to do? So you're going to defend yourself? So the city paid him like, I can't remember what. And by the time that it settled, he had already been arrested on two more felony weapons charges, beaten a woman half to death, like literally like assault murder charge. Like, this
Yeah.
dude's a bad dude, right? So, and still, so he gets all that. He's out, and he got like a big old 6-figure payday because the city didn't want to fight it. Thanks.
That's insane.
Isn't that great?
Yeah.
It pays to be a criminal. Arrested another lady for drunk driving, and she ended up suing or something like that, and like $5,000 or something like that. Just threw her $5,000. Why? Because it's cheaper than fighting it.
Well, I mean, 5,000. Yeah. I mean,
So how's that for awesome?
it's
You just
ridiculous.
break the law
Yeah.
and just sue.
Well, I had a guy. I was getting sued by a guy one time, and he ended up 2 years into it. was robbing a Whataburger. I believe it was a Whataburger.
Never had a Whataburger either.
Oh, so good. I'll take you to get some when we leave here.
I don't know. I'm out of my eating window. We can talk about that too.
We can do that. But he was robbing a Whataburger in the drive-thru. Well, he didn't know, but 2 cars behind him was Cobra Security, who's armed. And so they get out, and they end up shooting him as he's trying to run over one of the guys.
Do they have like the ability to do this?
Yeah, they saw crime in action.
Texas,
yeah, Texas.
Welcome to Texas.
He actually
do that if I was you, boy.
He tried to run over one of the guys, and the guy was a good shot and hit him twice in the chest, and one pierced his heart. He ended up driving about another 100 yards and crashed out underneath the bridge.
He's like, I'm fine. I can make it.
Yeah. No, well, he sat there, and his last words were "mama" to the homeless guy living underneath the bridge. We know this for a fact, by the way.
Oh, wow.
But that lawsuit still took another year before it got thrown out.
Wow.
So, yeah, our system's a little weird. Anyway, talking about Whataburger.
Never had it.
You've never had Whataburger?
Today, when I knew I was going to get this delay, I was like, all right, I'm going to be there. I'm hungry. I'm like, I was thinking to myself, it's probably going to be the only meal I'm going to have. Because I knew, like, by the time I get there, I'm basically just going to freshen up and head right to Jits. And we're coming here. I'm like, I'm going to eat big. So I'm going to, like, I'll eat Chick-fil-A, because I love Chick-fil-A. I got to drive 45 minutes from my house to get to Chick-fil-A. So I never go. So I'm like, oh, not in my concourse. And I had to wait in a service line to, like, deal with my flight change and all this other stuff. So by the time that was done, that was another hour, and I'm like, dude, I am freaking starving. I was going on, I think, hour 21 of no eating at that point. I'm just like, and I did a 40-hour fast Sunday through Tuesday, so I haven't eaten a lot this week. So then I'm like, dude, I gotta eat. So it was Five Guys today.
Five Guys is not bad.
It's not bad.
No, it's not Whataburger, but it's not bad.
I don't know, man. See, like, I used to think In-N-Out was really good, and then when I went last time to San Diego and I had it, I was like, this is overrated.
No, Whataburger's not overrated. If you get a hamburger from Whataburger,
what
it's
makes
not
it so
overrated.
good?
It's from Texas. Everything's bigger and better in Texas.
That's not good enough for me to be convinced.
Well, maybe you should just try some.
They do a few special things, The guys in back are tired all day, but don't worry about all that.
They got secret sauce, whatever. I don't know. I don't question it. I don't look. I just eat.
I mean, you're in Texas. There are burger places that will destroy anything you can possibly think of all around. I mean, all around.
Well, like In-N-Out used to be the big. I remember when I went to before we had In-N-Out here. I was in California for something, and everybody kept talking about In-N-Out and how great it is. So I was like, okay, let's do it, and it was good, but
no, it's not.
It wasn't Whataburger.
Yeah, no, I'd never had Five Guys before In-N-Out, and I think Five Guys is better than In-N-Out.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah.
So what?
Okay.
I have a cousin who lives where do they live? Orlando now. He swears by Whataburger.
I'm telling you, dude, Whataburger's. You got to get some Whataburger while you're here.
I need to try it.
I promise.
Got to try Whataburger. And I'm telling you, over at Red Oak, that double cheeseburger, man.
I just don't know if I should be eating Whataburger right now. I don't know.
Why not?
I don't know. I'm trying to drop weight.
You said you're getting pepper spray no matter what on Saturday, so
you bring up a valid point.
It's
a matter of pride, though. I'm trying to do the best that I possibly. This is like the home stretch, right? Like I'm trying to do the best that I can. Like to me, like if I weigh in at 198 or 196, it's like, oh, this is 2 more pounds. Like,
look, man, when's the last time you ate today?
I had granola at like 4:30.
Bro, your body's just gonna suck you in. You train today and everything. Your body's gonna you took Neon Belly for at least 2 minutes. Your body's just gonna.
You know the spray's coming, right? You know the spray's coming at you. Okay, that's in some shape, form, or fashion. You're gonna get sprayed. So why not come in heavier?
Do you heavier than I was? I have to eat a lot of Whataburger for that.
You're like,
I think I was like 210.8 or something like that at the first weigh, and I'm like 198 probably right now. I don't know.
So
like,
that's not going to happen.
So that would actually be the ultimate if you came in heavier while Officer Daniels sit there and busted his ass to lose all that weight, and you're like, I get pepper sprayed.
I just decided I'm okay with getting pepper sprayed. I weigh in with a burger in my mouth.
Joke's on you.
Yeah, I didn't train for this. It is what it is. Let's raise some money.
That's what. Yeah.
But we've been trying to like really encourage people. Like we created like this on the band app, like off Facebook, which turned out to be a mistake. We would have had way higher engagement on a Facebook group, but it got a lot of people, hopefully motivated. Some fat ass cops that needed like stop being fat ass cops. It's a freaking plague, man.
It's a huge plague.
I hate it.
I think it's a little better than. So I've been a cop like over 20 years now.
Gosh.
Yeah, I'm old as fuck. So
how old are you?
44.
Damn, you look good.
Oh, thank you, sir.
Damn. See.
Do I look younger than you?
I don't know, Jason. Well, do you know how old this guy is? Yeah, you're right. You're about to go.
46.
Almost.
Not even almost. You're not
Higher?
even, it's not even in the right decade.
No way. You're
Not
in your
even-
50s?
No, not 50s.
You're 50?
Yeah.
No way.
Yeah.
This fucking guy over here.
The water in Texas is good.
That's what I'm saying, man. That's what I'm saying.
No, but
Asians
you know,
growing
you
up
bring up
Asian
a good
noodles.
point.
But
Like 20 years ago, cops didn't work out. I mean, I guess some did, but not really. But now there's like a movement. Like there's a
lot
movement
of
in law enforcement for fitness, for working out, for being in shape. And so I think it's better, but we're still so like I don't know why all departments don't have physical fitness standards. Like I don't understand
Unions.
that.
yeah.
We don't have unions here. No physical,
Oh.
like very few. If they do have a physical fitness standard, it's so watered down, and it's so made like a tiny part of your entire evaluation that you can fail the shit out of it, and it makes no difference.
Yeah,
it's
it's-
actually more of an just they'll give you like an extra day off, like a vacation day or something for passing it, which no one gives a shit about.
there's a couple departments by me that'll do incentives. It's not even required to take it, but it's incentivized.
What?
And the one is pretty good. It's like $1,400 extra a year. It's like they do it twice a year, and it's $700 each time or something like that. So it's like
That's pretty
1,400.
strong.
If you come in the top band, like they have A band, it's less money and you lower. But you score in the A band, let's train for it and score in the A band. It's fine. You can get $700 like
It's nice,
Yeah.
in your pocket. Great. And there's another place that does for time off. So like you can earn up like if you do the top, then it's like 7 days off. So when you're working 12s, that's 2 weeks off. Add it to your year for staying in shape.
man.
That's huge. You know what can you do with that time? A lot. So
Yeah.
it's like it's awesome. I'm baffled. Like I don't know where I just don't understand where the logic of it all came from because there's the fitness thing. You got to be in shape to qualify to become a cop. You got to be in shape in the academy, and then once that's over with, all right, you're in. Great. Now be a freaking loser.
I don't know.
I don't know why that's like that. Or
I don't know why it's acceptable.
I have no clue. I don't know where it comes from.
Thing? Is it a retention thing? Just a manning and a retention?
I don't think it's a retention thing. I think there's old heads that get in. They weren't old heads obviously to begin with, but they don't want to fucking do it. And now they're in charge. They're not. They don't.
Yeah,
they're
they've
not
done
gonna
it.
enforce
Now they don't want to
nothing.
do it, so they
There's
don't want to.
few departments that are exceptions. I think like LAPD as far as major departments. LAPD is an exception because they have their big run and
Yeah.
the chief on down is qualifying. But God, I can't really think of another major department.
Same
that-
thing with defensive tactics. Like we're gonna touch people with our hands.
Don't even get me started.
Yeah,
on
It's
we've
that.
not.
hit
It's
that
not.
a
It's
bunch.
not even. It's not even like a mathematical like insignificance. It's massive.
It happens on
The
a
number of times I'm
regular.
going to point my gun at someone with the possibility of using it versus putting my hands on someone. It's if you're a cop that's doing regular police work. I mean, there's some places, a little Mayberry-ish or whatever. They don't arrest people all the time, but like you put your hands on people a lot.
Yes.
Yeah.
Like why don't we train for this? And then I begged, I pleaded, and we did CRAV at my first department. 1 8-hour block a year.
Oh, that's it.
Have you ever tried to master a system of self-defense in 8 hours a year? Like,
Why do it in 6 if you're really a man.
Yeah, I want to cut this down to 4, like whatever. Like, what are we doing here? Like,
Yeah.
and it's just, it really is mind-blowing. Like,
Yeah.
what the mindset is.
Yeah. No, and
behind
there's this, and what's worse, and almost worse, is some departments will take on a defensive tactics program that is horrible.
Oh, yeah.
That is absolutely horrible. They're teaching their officers things that are completely ineffective.
And there's always that guy or two that refuses to take it seriously, or they get injured and need time off because, hey, you made me go to this defensive tactics and my leg, I pull a muscle. Here's my doctor's note. I don't know when I'm going to be able to work again.
Yeah.
He says it could be a couple months before it's back. Like they play these games, and what are you going to do?
Yeah.
Then admin's like, well, we always, gosh, this starts in our education system too. We always punish the masses for the mistakes of the morons.
Yeah.
And it's the same thing in the cop world. Like, Jim twisted his ankle last thing, so we can't do that training anymore because we can't risk anybody else getting injured. No, fire Jim.
Yeah. Fire Jim.
Jim sucks.
Shit.
Jim's a pussy.
Maybe Jim needs to lose 200 pounds and start walking once a week.
He is 100% right, and it may even be a little bit about retention on that one. I've seen it to where they know an officer is physically incapable of doing the job and gets out of doing those courses and that training that requires physical effort.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
They know this, and they just let it go. And they'll even make comments and jokes about it. Just let it go. And I'm like, all right, well, when that person gets hurt on the street, I mean, how you going to feel about yourself? Like, you let that happen.
Exactly.
You let that
Look,
happen.
try to wrap your mind around this. Like, literally, do you want to go home to your family or do you not want to go home to your family? Like, do you want to be the guy that when the other guy needs help, you can't do it? You want to be that guy? Like, this is just like...
It comes down to you don't know what you don't know, right? Because before I started training, I didn't fucking know. I was like, I'm a relatively athletic guy. I can handle most people. No, you can't. and I've had people tell me, no, I'm a fucking man. And I had one guy, I told him, listen to me. And this could be, I was like, and I wasn't like braggadocious because he's a lot bigger. He was bigger than me and whatever. I was like, listen, I can kill you. Like, I have the ability to kill you. And I'm smaller than you, and you may not believe it, but I can kill you. And I know I can because I practice it all the fucking time. And no, I'm a man. Like, you know, I'm a fucking man. I'm like, you can be a fucking man all you want, but you'll be a dead fucking man if I decide to make that happen. With no guns, nothing like that. Just you and me hand to hand. I'm telling you. And there's a ton of people that are capable of doing that because you don't do shit to prepare for it. Mm-hmm. But there are people with this false sense of bravado, ego, man, whatever you want, machismo, whatever you want to call it. They think just their willpower. I've heard that one too. Well, I'll will it. I'll have the will to fight. The
awesome.
warrior in me will will
please.
it. You know, I'm like, you can't will what you don't have.
Yeah.
But people don't. They don't know. They don't know what they don't know, and that's why I try. That's why I push jiu-jitsu so much. Because, you know, when you get in there, right? Like, when you first time you ever fucking jumped on a mat and then got strangled by everybody, and you realized, oh my God, like, I'm super vulnerable. Like, I'm really, really fucking vulnerable. People can kill me. And then it kind of hooks you, you know. That's why I try to get those officers in there. Yeah. Some officers get it, and they run from it. Like, oh my God, I can't go back
Most
there.
of them that I've gotten to try on the mats, they don't come back. Yeah. They last very little because of the ego issue. Like, they can't. We're trained to like have the winning mindset, right? Fight, win, go home. Like, you don't lose. Don't let yourself fall into that mindset, which is great. Yeah. But you can have that mindset all you want, but when your arm's broke, your mind isn't going to make it work. Right. Like, it ain't going to happen. So you have to like have this balance. Like, a positive mindset is necessary, but you got to combine it with skills. Like, that'd be way better if you if you could be positive about your skill set.
Right. It's like how long have you been training?
Like 6 years.
Okay, so 6 years. So take 1 year into it. So pre 1 year is trying to arrest 1 year into it. Who wins?
Oh yeah.
1 year into it's going to kick the shit out of you.
Absolutely.
I mean, maybe even 6 months, and is going to kick the shit out of the untrained. I mean, I don't care how athletic you are. How much I've got strong hands, or I can deadlift 1,100 pounds, or
like I tell guys, are like, well, I like working out. I'm like, that's fine.
Oh, get out, dude. That
like
gives you zero.
You can bench press whatever you want. Like, that's great. If that eases your stress, you know, strength is a good thing. It's not a bad thing.
Yeah,
great. But I'm telling you, you're not going to bench press this turd that took 6 months of MMA classes and wants to step to you.
Yeah,
you're gonna get smoked. Like, it doesn't translate, way, dude. Right. Like, and sometimes it's just beating against the wall. Like, I would send emails to my admin, like, I asked a lieutenant, 18 years on, 19 years on, I'm like, when's the last time? And I've been there like 4 or 5 years. I'm like, when's the last time we did a defensive tactics class? He's like, I've never had one since I've been here. Since the academy, like 18, 19 years ago. And I'm like, I immediately went to the computer. I'm like, I said, like, dear sirs, like, I understand, like, I try to speak their language, right, which is dollars.
Yeah.
There's bean counters. Like, the guys at City Hall, they're bean counters.
Yeah, that's all they are.
And I get that. Like, that's your role. You're supposed to keep, like, account of the finances. Cool. So how about we allocate them to where we reduce liability? You don't want us to get sued. What's going to happen when I swing a stick at someone's knee, or when I just, like, tee up and kick someone in the face and shatter their orbital?
Yep.
And then they say, Why did you do that to my client? I don't know. I was trying to arrest him. Who taught you to do that? Nobody. Look, guess how many millions of dollars your city just lost?
Exactly.
Because I'm going, I don't know. I just tried to get him arrested.
Yeah.
No. Like, it's totally different than saying, like, I did this, and then I did this, and then this is why I was left with no choice but to use this escalation. You know, be able to articulate what you've learned and how it's applied in practice. Like, seems to me like a no-brainer, and there's a sense of which, like, you can come off like arrogant by telling people this, and I don't want it to be that way, but it's like when you don't know what you don't know, right?
Right.
So how else can you convince someone of what they're not seeing? It's hard. You got to kind of like keep putting it in front of them until sometimes it's too late, man.
Yeah,
You
and
know?
it's one of the things you had said before is that you're concerned. We're thinking about liabilities of the precinct or the department, in that if people are doing jujitsu and somebody gets choked, then But I think what you were saying may be more powerful than the liability. Thinking from a legal law perspective, if I'm an attorney and I'm questioning you on the stand, why did you do X? And you, without a blink and without a sweat, you're like, I did it because of these 10 things, and this is why, and these were the potential repercussions, and lay it all out there, just boom, like this, because you're trained and you're knowledgeable on it.
Yeah,
That's
I think
hard to combat legally. It's not impossible.
But there's also the old school, the old head mindset right now, which is chokes are bad.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Everybody's scared of chokes. Not everybody. There's some
The
departments.
Eric Garner thing didn't help.
That definitely didn't help. Even though he didn't die of being choked.
Exactly.
He wasn't really even being choked. Let's be honest.
Right. No.
But there's the perception.
He was an overweight man with a heart condition fighting going to jail.
And his heart killed him.
Yeah.
And his heart killed him.
Yes.
That's what happens.
He didn't suffocate.
It's
to death.
science.
Yeah, thank you.
But
Yes.
so I've had friends. I've had people on Instagram hit me up from NYPD saying we're not allowed to choke in any form or fashion. We're not even allowed to put our arms around their necks anymore. Because like I posted one where I showed a choke. Right, I'm just showing.
I saw the one I saw one you posted the other day. Like, if it takes 15 seconds, it's too late.
Yeah,
Isn't that ridiculous, right? I mean, I was like 15 seconds. I've never taken 15 seconds. Once I've taken my arm and done this, I've never taken me 15 seconds to get a towel or to put someone to sleep. It's never taken that long. But anyway, yeah, there's a bad perception with chokes. But yeah, like the Garner thing definitely didn't help, and so like New York's like way behind on that. But there are departments starting to allow chokes again. They're starting to allow people to be certified in applying a choke. And of course, they put another thing I hate is they put that retarded name on. Was it lateral vascular neck restraint? I think is what they call it.
I read that.
Choke,
Yeah,
right?
read that.
And so but it's coming around. You know, like the Gracies are helping out.
Yeah.
Like Henry and Hire and Gracie are helping
Yeah, for
out.
$1,000 a year, they'll actually send someone out
per year.
Yeah, per year.
Well, if with discounts, like 800. I've been through the course; it's a great course.
But they'll come testify for you
for 1 year, and then you got to recertify.
Yeah.
At the end of the year, yeah. But you don't really need them to testify, though. Like
right.
If you're trained and you're an expert in your field, you're good to go. It's coming around. It's happening. Like my chief is finally said, "Hey, I want you to develop a jiu-jitsu program for our department."
It'd be great.
Fuck, that's awesome. Like I was like,
there's a couple of guys. Ruben Alvarez is trying to get it right now.
Yeah.
And then, man, I don't know if he uses like Blue Line Grappling or something like that.
Yeah.
Full-time defensive tactics coordinator. Full-time.
Yes. I love
his videos. He gets to just grapple all
stuff.
Day. This is amazing. For a
great,
police department. This is amazing.
Job because he works for a very large police
department. I told him I was so jealous, man. Like that would have kept me in for life, probably like full-time.
Oh, yeah.
Yes, please.
Yeah, he's a cool dude. There's actually a lot of good guys out there pushing it. I know Brian.
Yeah.
He's for him. I feel so bad for him because his department's worked against them.
Mm-hmm.
Like, they don't want to hear it.
Yeah.
Right. Even they have, which is crazy to me because you have this amazing resource right there, guy with that knowledge and that willingness to share it with your guys, and not just keep that away from us. We don't want nothing to do with it. Blows my mind. But there's a lot of cops out there that are pushing it and getting the departments to start feeding into it, and I think it's going to come back around. We've got to get chokes allowed, though.
Yeah, for sure.
How do you not?
Because they're worried. So in the 70s, I think it was the 70s, you had it was a common practice.
The sleeper hold,
Yeah, the lateral, whatever. But you can imagine the technique back then probably wasn't well taught. Right. We didn't have a lot of people who
judo was super popular. Judo.
Right.
And,
So you didn't have a lot of.
Went down to the old YMCA and got yourself some grappling skills.
So guys were getting seriously injured or killed.
Right.
Windpipes getting crushed, stuff like that. So I think the common thing was money, lawsuits, and all that stuff happening. Just ban them all outright. And now, hopefully, what's happening is because the skill level and the knowledge is out there, the training's out there, we can get them to start say, hey, when you teach this properly, look, I've done it on the street. I've had to use it on the street. Fuck, within 2 seconds, dude's out. He wakes up handcuffed, doesn't know how he got handcuffed. Nobody's hurt. He's not hurt. I'm not hurt. My partner's not hurt. Best day ever for dealing with a combative subject. But, you know, we've just got to get administrations to see that and to see how.
Why learn that when we can just do the cop pylon?
Well, that's what we normally do, right? Or the old
Everybody
style.
grabs an arm, we wing ding them, and friggin' pile on. Oh my goodness.
That's great for social media, though. It's amazing.
Media
for
loves
social media. Yeah. Well, and then the news loves it too. Yeah.
Fucking media. I can't stand any of those guys either. I heard someone say today, they were like, everybody says it's all the media's fault. And I hate saying that, but fuck, you know what? It really is all the media's fault. I swear to God. The fucking media, dude. Like, they crush us.
It's a zoo,
they
dude.
They fucking kill us, man.
It's a zoo. They don't... Dude, well, we're all old men. I've learned this tonight. But tell me if I'm wrong. This is my observation, that when I was growing up, the nightly news... there was a cadence or a personality that came off with, like, whether it was a Walter Cronkite or it was somebody else, Dan Rather, you know, these guys all reported the same freaking things.
Yeah.
There was these were events that then they reported. Now, obviously, like, if the first one to report, well, they were going to get more viewers on that because they were the first people to report this or whatever, that kind of a thing. But there was a sense of responsibility and integrity. I think that's going to be true that with the advent of I don't know what advertising, marketing driven, you know, entertainment. Reality TV was a game changer, I think.
Yeah.
And now the presidential election and news is almost reality based.
Yeah.
Sort of like environments where you kind of like manufacture the drama. And it's kind of real because it's really happening, but the way that we portray it, you know, is a certain way to kind of like. And then, you know, Fox has to be conservative, CNN has to be liberal, and it's kind of like, what the heck, man? And MSNBC is like the inbred cousin between those two or something.
Disgusting. But think of this. Think in the 80s. You know, it's a while back. But think back in the 80s. How many times you ever saw breaking news on your television screen?
Dude, I didn't even have a TV in my house, like, third grade. That was it. Like, that was a big deal. We went to like JCPenney or Sears or something like that and got a TV as color, you know, whatever. I think we had some like black and white old sets like sitting somewhere. Like,
yeah,
we didn't gather around and watch it or anything like that. That became a thing like later on in life. But
yeah, and it was
exactly.
You got
somebody
from
the president had been shot. Right. That would be like, oh shit, this is news. Mm-hmm. Now they interrupt my show to tell me about a possible thunderstorm warning.
Exactly.
And make it sound like this is terrible. You need to be like, they want to dramatize like tornado warnings. Mm-hmm. Tornado warnings used to mean there's a fucking tornado. You probably need to get in your bathtub or in the basement, whatever it is.
Yeah.
It's right there.
It's on.
Like, that's a tornado warning.
Yeah.
Now, warnings are what watches used to be.
Yep. Exactly.
Why? Because we gotta we gotta prepare. We gotta, you know, it keeps people engaged in our channel if we're like, get the whatever, the Doppler 9 million, and we can pinpoint this. Whatever.
Well, that's what it says. I don't care what you call media, if it's news or if it's this or it's entertainment.
Yeah.
They have to get watchers. They have to get viewers. They have to do what we call clickbait. They've got to do all those things because they got to pay the bills.
Mm-hmm. I ain't gonna lie, I'm a sucker for news though, and I agree with everything you said. I still fucking watch it, dude. I can't stop watching news. Man.
I don't watch it nearly as much as I used to. I never read it online. Like, I kind of, if something stands out, I scroll Twitter because that's where like a lot of the political and entertainment type stuff are. And if something stands out to me, I kind of like, I'll look into it or whatever. But for the most part,
rest of it's all silly.
It's silly.
Oh, it's very silly. It's like watching puppy videos. I can't stop watching.
You just got to stop. Because I'll say this.
Especially not puppy videos.
A couple of years ago, I pretty much was just like, done. And I mean, I'll kind of every once in a while I'll get like 2 minutes here, 5 minutes here, stuff like this, especially when they used to play it at the gym. So I'd be walking or doing cardio.
Yeah, Lifetime
and you
Band.
get a little bit,
News
and then
channels.
Lifetime Band, all news channels.
That's
Hilarious.
right.
Yeah. So I'd get a little bit, but it was awkward the first few weeks of doing it. I was like, oh shit, what's going on? Crap, what's going on? I gotta see. I mean, you gotta fight that. Gotta fight it.
It's like you poking the bear and messing with trolls.
That's just your thing, man. Yeah. It just sucks you in. It's an evil magnet.
It is. Like, I promise you, I'll get home tonight and I will. 2 channels I'm going to turn on: Fox News and NFL Network.
What ruined me was the first time I was on the news as a cop.
Mm-hmm.
It ruined me. I was like, this is all lies.
Yeah.
Because the story that they reported was not accurate at all. Like, they had it all wrong. And I'm like, wait a second. That didn't happen. That's not what happened. I'm like, what the heck? And I thought maybe it was a fluke. Next time I was on the news, same thing. I'm like, this might be a problem. And it was all consistent.
Okay, because how you get on the
Always
news so much?
Consistent. Oh, dead body scenes, and
You just kinda
car
get it.
chases, and whatever else.
Jesus Christ.
So we like one of the last times was like I was in a murder trial, and there's a news reporter in there, and they came out, and I seen the blurb at night. I was like, what in the actual fuck was that journalist listening to? This is not at all what was said. This is not what the judge even like summarized or like instructions he was giving. Like, this is all wrong. And I was like, oh my goodness. So like I just just ruined me. Like I'm like a total skeptic of the news. I'm not a conspiracy theorist, but I'm a complete skeptic when it comes to anything I hear on the news. I automatically assume it's false until I like get some type of really strong data to make me believe it, because I'm just like, no way.
You witnessed it. It was you. It happened to you.
Right.
Yeah.
So then the news, my buddy called me after that. One of the guys that was in the cop aerobics video, he's like, dude, I know this. I met this reporter through a story she did before at the department. She wants to know if she can have your number to call you and do a spot on this cop aerobics thing. And I'm like, I was like, you can give me my number. I'll see what she has to say. So she texts me like, hey, I want to do this story. I'm like, what do you want to do? She's like, I want to talk about blah, blah, blah. I'm like, no, doesn't sound good. Yeah. I'm like, I told her, I'm like, straight up, I'm like, the news is terrible at getting facts right, especially with cops. And I feel like you're going to turn this into cop dances on taxpayers' money and leotard or whatever it is. Like, you're going to do whatever you want with this. I'm like, and surprisingly, she was on her way out, actually. She got a job doing something else. So she like, it was like one of her last things. And she like made it accurate. It got chopped up. It was like, 20 minutes, like, a minute piece for 20 minutes of interviews, chopped up, but nothing was distorted. I was like, wow. All right.
Maybe because she was on her way out.
Maybe.
I don't know. Maybe there's one or two good ones out there.
It was your good looks and charm.
But sometimes I feel bad for thinking this, because I tell people all the time, like, well, cops suck because this cop did that. I'm like, dude, that's not most of them.
Yeah.
Right? So a lot of times I'm like, well, Am I being that way with the media?
I don't know.
Am I being like judging all media because
maybe I'm being
of
hypocritical
bad? I don't know. And I sometimes I think about times I'm like, yeah, am I being a hypocritical asshole because are most of them genuine? But like, I look at these stories and I'll call people that are like other cops, and maybe it's how they handle the police stuff more than anything. I don't know.
No, because look at the storm shit. All the stupid videos and memes of them faking. And it wasn't just one channel. There was a boatload of channels that were doing this.
The best part, though, is that memes exist to capture it.
Dude, it's great.
Post it.
Yeah.
Like, there was one, I don't know if it was a dude from CNN sitting in like, he was in like a
the
gutter.
Shark coming up?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, it was Anderson Cooper did that.
He was sitting in like a gutter, and then his spill crew's up here where the water really is. And he's trying to make it look like it's waist high. And then you had the guy that was faking being blown by the I'm not the best one.
And somebody's like
two guys
walking
by.
Yeah, these two dudes are just walking like.
Dude, I was like, that is so priceless.
They probably were like, is that guy having a seizure? What's going on?
Right, yeah. Run over for the little
CPR. Oh, man. So, internet's good for
something. So, no, I don't think you're being a hypocrite. I think the proof is in the pudding, man. They keep getting busted time and time again. Every channel, every network, every level from local to national.
Yeah.
What are you going to do, man?
Not watch.
Thank you.
I'm still watching. I'm sorry.
We'll just ask him.
I'm still watching. I mean, I understand that it's bullshit. Like, it's a lot of twisted up stuff. I'm not like ignorant to it. It's entertainment. I just enjoy hearing like this fucking Kavanaugh shit. I can't stop watching it. I know this chick. Look, you know what's funny to me is how everybody dances around it, right? So you don't think she's telling the truth? Well, I didn't say she's not telling the truth. I'm just saying maybe she's. Bitch is lying. Why will nobody say it?
Tripping.
This chick is lying.
Bitch be tripping.
She is lying for a political. She's a liberal
all of the
professor.
Connections that have come out with that about
she's so lying.
Lawyers connected to her and their connection to Hillary Clinton and George Soros.
But nobody will say she's lying. They won't say it. They'll just no. I just think maybe, she's misremembering. She's not sure. Say she's lying.
It was a repressed memory that came out in 2012 with conflicting notes from the therapist.
Yes. Oh, but nobody will say. Everybody dances around it, and I think it's hilarious. No, but it's entertaining.
Ridiculous.
I gotta watch it. I can't help myself.
It is. It's what it is. It's entertain. It's entertainment. Like, crazy.
Well, if you look at it like Saturday Night Live, it is amazingly fun.
But you can't make it up.
No.
Yeah.
That's the best.
I mean, no, they're not paying a writer.
Right. Exactly.
They're not paying any writers.
It just writes itself.
It's real. Or maybe they're paying writers and we don't know it. But still, it's possible.
Yeah, wouldn't that be something? Instead of like us being in the Matrix, we're all just actually watching a script unfold. It's all real.
Possible.
It's just scripted.
Dun, dun, dun.
It's almost as good as your if you left Earth 500 years.
That's not mine. I'm just
repeating.
I'm just passing along the
No,
information.
I liked it. That's pretty cool. That sounds some
Stuff's fascinating.
Man.
What's that?
I love that stuff.
I
like talking on that. All right, so people are going to know. If the election were today, would you vote for Trump this time?
No.
Yeah, see, it's
based on character. He's just a bad person.
Kinda, I guess. I mean, like, I want somebody who I think, because I don't think the president is powerful as people make him out to be.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
I think it is a lot about the character. I think it is a lot about the setting some type of person in office that I would want my kids to respect.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I teach them to respect the office. I think it's important.
Yes.
But I would like them to respect the person in the office too. So, like, I feel that is important because I think the rest of it's...
You think that's possible in today's age?
I'd like to... I like to think so.
Yeah.
I think it's possible. I don't know that it's probable. I think some serious stuff has to change.
Yeah.
Because just when you think, right, like, it's a Bernie Sanders thing. Like, everybody loves Bernie Sanders. Those morons didn't vote.
No, they didn't vote for him.
They forgot. Or they're busy doing something else, whatever. So it's like just when you think, okay, maybe there's a resurgence of an interest in actual political discourse, and when you do that, then all of a sudden you look on media and you look on social media and you see everyone is just as divided as ever. It's worse. Like, everybody's just keep like, everybody has to have their camp. And now we're more concerned about our camp being right and justifying everything. That if anything comes up, oh, Trump did this. Oh, yeah, well, Obama did this. Why can't you just admit Trump did something wrong? Like, this isn't about that. Like, but we have these camps. And so it seems like we're more divided than ever. It's making it actually, like, when you think a third party could rise up, it's just not.
Yeah.
I don't know if it's because it's just easier to pick one of two versus one of six. I don't know.
I think our system was... I think this is correct. Our system was kind of set up to be a binary system. It wasn't set up to have third and fourth parties. It's kind of the way the founders had set it up.
Not really.
Am I wrong about that?
Yeah.
I feel like I read that
somewhere. It kind of just transitioned, and it was
Yeah,
set up in a way for it to easily fall into that.
Right.
Well, the other thing that's
well, at the beginning,
the huge difference is no career politicians.
Yeah, we got to fix that.
That wasn't a thing. You were a statesman.
Yeah.
Right? And it was what was similar was that it was typically people of means, right?
Yeah.
Educated, because education was a huge, you didn't want somebody trying to argue for something that didn't have the education to do it, or the knowledge to do it. So that, you're going to have your doctors and your lawyers and your people of wealth and education that were going to be representatives because they had the ability and the means to do it.
Right.
But they did their term and it was over.
Right.
Now we have career politicians whose motivation then is to maintain that power and position, influence, whatever.
But we've jumped the shark on all that stuff. Like, that's you're never going back.
I'll say,
We're never going back on
as a president. Okay, so it's fair to say President Obama was a good statesman with good charisma.
Oh yeah.
He's well educated. He spoke well. He had good charisma. He could get your attention and keep it. And he had a good flow to him, good cadence. Reagan did. Clinton did. Bush 41. No.
He's a drinking buddy guy,
right? You know. And then Bush 43. Like, he's a smart guy, but just didn't have that charisma.
Yeah.
Does that make sense?
Though. I thought he did have his own kind of charisma.
He had his own kind of charisma, but it wasn't this. It wasn't the same thing as what some of the other ones did.
And it was definitely unique.
Yeah.
But
I prefer the Dana Carvey 41.
Yeah, that was
1,000 points of light. Not gonna do it. Not gonna do it.
That was good.
That was a great one.
Yes.
That's when Saturday Night Live is funny.
Yes.
It used to
Back
be.
then.
Yes.
That's when I went to Wayne's World like 5 times at the theaters. You know.
Oh, that
Loved
was
it.
awesome. That stuff was amazing.
Oh yeah.
But so I'm thinking, like, even if we have a good statesman, that statesman or man with charisma, the guy at the top, the figurehead, has to stay stupid shit from his party, so he's going to get roasted, right?
Yeah.
Because the whole being honest about it, because I'm definitely not a liberal, but take President Obama. If you like your doctor, you can keep him.
Mm-hmm.
Somebody wrote that for him.
Right.
It wasn't him. He didn't have control of that.
Right.
It's not his law. He's not the one that's going to vote it in. He's not all this kind of stuff. It's not. He's saying things he doesn't have control over because he has to say those things to make the people feel good about what the fuck's going over here to do this.
When I want to feel good about politics, you know what I watch is I watch the movie Dave.
Oh, it's awesome. Yeah,
that is
love
a good
that.
movie, though.
That's a good one.
Yeah, there's like,
nice little-
I like Dave. I don't like that guy.
It's kind of it's a nice little communist manifesto too.
Yeah, exactly.
Jobs for everybody. You just need a
Jobs.
job.
Well, that's the thing I'm saying. Like the president's like, we're going to promise. The president has absolute shit to do with jobs.
Yeah.
Right.
Nothing. Literally nothing.
Yeah.
So, but you promise jobs, whatever else. Like, this is the thing that's it's funny to watch, but it's sad that it's true. But you're right. Like they become a tool of the party in that sense. So that's part of that skeptic in me again is like I feel like no one can get to that level in politics without ultimately having essentially sold your soul to the party.
Yeah.
And you might be a genuine person and you might have that charisma and they're going to use every ounce of it that they can.
Well,
they're going to if you have the integrity going in,
you won't when
it's
you come out.
hard to hold on to it to get out.
This is what you can say is I don't think Trump falls into that category. Nobody is writing his tweets for him. I think we're pretty clear on that. I mean, can we agree on that?
Some of them, yeah.
No, like there's which ones I'm talking about.
Oh,
he's tweeting his own.
The
he's
good
on his
ones,
phone
he's
doing the
tweeting.
tweets,
I hope he's
right?
tweeting. God, I hope he's tweeting them.
And some of the asinine shit he says, just off the cuff, he's not reading that off a teleprompter.
No, for sure.
At least with him, it's not pre-written, and you're getting a raw. I mean, that's who he is.
And some of the things I appreciate that about Trump.
Yeah.
At least you know.
I like some of that stuff.
At least you know.
I mean, it's put a little humor into it.
Well, that's how he got elected.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He was like, he speaks his mind.
He doesn't speak. He's just
okay.
Over 70 and half senile, and it's just funny as shit.
I don't think he's senile at all. He looks like he's fucking.
I want to see what he looks like with his head shaved.
Oh yes. Oh come on, Kim. There's got to be a way to pull that off.
Somebody's probably photoshopped that already.
Dave Bound.
Trump with a bald head.
Yeah.
It's got to be.
I'm going to try to. Later. I'm going to see if I can get my Photoshop skills up. I'll start practicing all weekend. That's all I'm doing.
That's how you really build up the podcast, right? Like this week's guest is Mike the Cop and Donald Trump, and then at the end, asterisk, we're lying about Donald Trump.
All I gotta do is exactly. I take your head and I just got to Photoshop
Trump's hair and
face swap.
The orange part is going to be the difficult part. I don't know if I can pull that off.
No, yeah.
The shading, that's where I struggle. It's the shading the skin color to the same as the person you're photoshopping. It's really hard.
Oh, you got to get a picture that you want and then just tap it and change the color on the brush.
It's just a little blend. It's a little blend.
You got to put it on your palette.
See? It's all those little things. We'll have a little class later. It's okay. We'll have painting class.
Like you do really good stuff. I like yours.
I'm just quick.
Yeah.
The less you think about it, the faster and better it comes. Seriously?
I don't.
It's like,
man, I'm like
20 minutes looks amazing. 30
delete,
minutes,
redo it.
Yeah.
That's not right. Delete, I'll save it.
I'll teach you the ways.
Which really, it speaks very poorly of my Photoshop skills. It takes me so long to do such a shitty job. Jeez. It's really bad. Anyway.
Use Snapchat.
Huh?
You can use Snapchat and just do the cut out, and then just put it on the
Dude,
picture.
I can't.
Oh yeah, Snapchat does
over
that.
Snapchat.
Yeah, it hurts.
I haven't logged in. Again, I don't use Snapchat
I'm
anymore.
so over Snapchat.
That when they changed, I'm speaking of it from a content creator standpoint of being able to reach an audience. So they changed how it worked, and I dropped them about a month later.
Yeah, you can't.
It cut my reach by about 60%
Oh crap!
Yeah,
The
it was a
only thing
huge
I
hit.
ever
Like
used Snapchat
overnight,
for
sucked.
was just my buddies, like 5 or 6 people. We just fucking Snapchat shit to each other. That's
Yeah,
it.
like I have a few
was, like,
groups that
trying to,
I
like,
use. I mainly
create
used it
stuff.
for like you'd have a group of people and you'd have a
it
snap
was just
group
like
or something
groups.
like that.
That was
Yeah.
it. That's the only thing I've ever used it for. So,
Any guess on what the next platform is going to be?
Man, I wish. I think the next thing is going to be app driven.
Yeah,
I think it'll. I think it will be. It won't be web driven as much as it'll be app driven. So I think we're going to see a pushback on algorithm control.
Yeah,
I think we'll see a few conservative attempts come out. I don't know how much they'll take hold. I think they'll be quickly overrun by not extremists, but people who tend to be pretty right.
Yeah.
Like,
Well,
building a camp with
the
multiple women and
the dark web guys, right?
Rico.
What do they call it?
I was like,
Intellectual dark web? Is that what they call
Go
them?
back to porn for a minute. I didn't
Yeah,
know
look
what was
here.
happening.
Oh,
I was about to say, let's look what porn's doing. That's probably what's next.
seriously.
Well,
It could
that happened.
Yeah.
yeah.
With guns,
And
right? They
shaving.
went to Pornhub.
Punt.
I don't know.
I
That
was
one.
gonna say it happened with shaving because people remember.
Somebody looked
everybody-
that up. Pornhead.com. Is it available? Buy it for me. I'll pay you back.
Yeah, get it now.
Because that should be already bought. But if it's not, I'm going to move on that one.
Somebody just bought it right now for $85,000 because we said it. It was. But this just went blank because I was laughing at that.
Porn.
Anyway, it's gone. Yeah, no, it was
porn-
before that.
Porn
yeah.
wasn't the trigger.
No.
There's a band who is it might be the Rolling Stones, maybe, and a company called Disciple, and it's like $5,000 a year for the starter package, but you get your own social media, and it's in an app form. So I could like make the Mike the Cop social media app.
Yeah, but they did that for a while. As Facebook was growing big, just after MySpace fell off, a lot of places were doing that.
Well, there was
And it was-
Elo or something like that. That was
yeah.
It's still around, but it
Yeah.
failed. Then there was another one a few months ago that failed. That a lot of people hopped on right away. It started with a V. Can't remember what it was.
Oh, I remember that.
But that failed really quickly. And even that band app for the fitness challenge, we put 700 members in there, and the average post is seen by 8 people or something like that.
That's horrible.
But
Yeah.
if it was on Facebook, we would have probably had 7,000 members, and it would have been
Yeah.
super active or whatever else. We're just trying to experiment and see how it is. The people in there like it because it's super devoted, and they're like, they feel, hey, we're focused on this, which is good. But
Yeah.
I don't know. It's gonna take someone. It's gonna take someone that has the vision of like an Elon Musk, the social awareness of a Zuckerberg,
Yeah.
and the libertarian in them to want to not control it.
Well, that's what I was saying is the international or the intellectual dark web guys. So Rogan and Shapiro and Rubin and Brett Weinstein and all those guys. Well, Brett and Eric, I think both of them. But anyway, they've been talking about that as creating their network because they're like between all of them, it's 150, 200 million people a month are dealing with them, and then their reach is so much actually further than that.
Yeah.
That they're kind of like they have the resources, they have the time, they have the people, they have the staff, they have those types of minds that you were just saying.
Yeah.
They've got kind of all of those pieces, and then they're toying around with it. And Rogan's pissed as shit at YouTube.
What do they
So-
do to
What do they
him?
do?
Just how they turn stuff down and demonetize this and do these things
just
and
get
get
rid of
I went
reported.
through
and just like,
I went through a terrible stretch, dude. Almost 3 months where they wouldn't monetize any of my videos. Is terrible. It seems like now. I thought today I posted one. Some like our guns only good enough for anti-gun senators or something like that. I posted that and I thought for sure it'd be demonetized, but it wasn't. I was like, oh,
wow.
weird.
Well, you just did it today though, right?
Yeah, but usually it's like instant.
Pretty quick.
So I don't know. I'll do manual reviews on them all the time, but that's crazy. Yeah, YouTube's not what it used to be.
No. So something's going to come up.
Yeah. For gun videos, full30.com is they're revamping their entire platform right now. I have a bunch of videos on there, but the ad rates are better and there's no restrictions on what you do.
Full30.com?
Full30, yeah.
And it's just a what is it exactly?
Firearm education, firearm reviews, gun vloggers, like that kind of a thing. Like a lot of people moved off of YouTube to other alternate platforms to build it up a little bit so that if YouTube shut them down entirely, they didn't lose everything.
Yeah. I'm going to check that out.
And then people make fun of it, but I mean, even Vimeo's better because you pay for the space.
Yeah.
So it's harder for them to block you and shut you down and things of that nature. But again,
is there ads on Vimeo stuff though? Can you make money on Vimeo?
You can. It's similar. It's almost like taking YouTube and Twitch and then creating a platform with it.
I did Twitch for a minute too.
Oh, I wouldn't think you'd do good there.
I did great.
Really?
Yeah, it was cool. Like that, they call it IRL, and that was what was the best. I messed around on some games playing with my kids and stuff like that, and there was interest there, but we did good. It was just I couldn't maintain it. I literally I'm like, I got to do less to do more. Yeah. At some point, I just can't be like. So I abandoned Snapchat, which was scary. Like, I'd get rid of that. Yeah. And then I'm like, I let Twitch go. I'm like, I can't do it all. Like, I've got to figure out. I've got to take what I'm interested in, which is communicating truth for a change, where law enforcement meets culture. I want to speak into that and like change people's minds. Yeah. So to do that, I have to kind of like reverse engineer it, right? Like I have to think, okay, if that's what I want to do, what's the next what are the steps to put in the river to get across it, and then okay, this is the next thing that I need to do. Yeah. So kind of like really scale that back, and it's been helpful because I think the next big project I'm doing is a web course. So you want to be a cop. I'm going to break it. It'll have like 30 or 40 hours of content. Like with me, I'll talk with somebody that does polygraphs. Yeah. And then I'll talk with training officers. I'll talk to an FBI agent. Like I'll keep building the course. I'll have like a basic framework that's the minimum starting point, and I'll just keep adding to it. And that is like, if that does well, all the rest doesn't even matter anymore. Yeah. Because then you kind of like learn how to communicate. Like then I'm trying to leverage this social media reach for something. I don't know.
To actually do something with it.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. I mean, I don't mind doing aerobics and cop yoga or whatever, but
well, I mean, you're gonna have to do that a little bit here and there all the time, right?
Yeah, I mean, it's just kind of like who I am anyway. Like I have a stupid idea or whatever, but I don't want to always be like churning the social media. Like it's just it can get exhausting, dude. Like you always to stay relevant, you have to keep making content, and to make good content, it isn't that easy.
No, it's insanely difficult.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And stuff you're passionate about isn't always what other people want to hear about. So you kind of like, well, I don't know. I don't know what to say because nobody wants to listen.
No, and that's like people today, they're like, oh, I'm starting to count now. I'm like, just don't. You're going to spend, 15, 20 hours a day DMing people, probably messaging people, follow to unfollow.
You talked about growth earlier. Like, yeah. You're onto something there. I wouldn't say don't do it at all. I would say understand the way the different platforms, because they're each their own animals. Yeah. Like, I hate Facebook. Yeah. Hate it. I love Instagram. Instagram is where I spend, if I'm on social media, there's a 90% chance I'm on Instagram. Yeah. So that's where I spend my time because I personally enjoy it. And I get the most engagement there. Weird, okay. So I would say pick one and do it, because what I tried to do for a while is grow my YouTube by linking. I would make a YouTube video, and then I would never look at the comments on YouTube. I didn't do it, and I learned YouTube is its own universe. Yeah. So you got guys like a donut operator who's killing it on YouTube. He's so on Instagram or whatever, and Twitter's growing. Like, it's YouTube. Mm-hmm. I would tell young people or anybody interested in like trying to do something, what do you really want to do? And that's what I didn't. All I knew at the beginning was I want to do something to humanize the badge. I had no plans. Yeah. That's not actually the most ideal way to start. Right. Like I don't know that it's luck, but it's like I've made a lot of mistakes. Like I learned, like I kind of grew into this. Like I didn't plan on this. So, but someone that has like something to say, something that they're passionate about, whether it's interviews or whether it's funny videos or whether it's information, whatever it is. Study the platforms and figure out which one is going to give you the bang for the buck. It's the 80-20 principle. It's real as gravity. Don't waste your time with the 80. Do the 20 that's going to get you the 80. Forget the rest. That would be my advice to people who want to grow social media.
Yeah.
Grow one.
Which I like that, yeah.
And stick with it.
Yeah. And I find so many times is that people can grow a decent Instagram if they have a strong YouTube page, but you can't grow a strong YouTube page from a strong Instagram page.
Yes, you can definitely grow other platforms from YouTube.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But it's not necessarily the other way.
Definitely does not work the other way around.
Right.
But people who are into YouTube, that's what they watch. That's where they digest all of their content.
And that's where they comment, and that's where they spend their time, and so it's some of the stuff I was about to tell you about and message you about. I'm just slow as shit.
We've been kind of I've had a lot of stuff going on. You've had a lot of stuff going on, but we're
stuck in the dungeon, and I've been stuck on baseball fields.
We're working on it.
Yeah. Dude, that's awesome. We got to cut it. We're there. If not, my wife is going to cut my nuts off.
I don't want that to happen.
But there's two, so each of you could have one. I mean, I don't know how.
I still have one left.
That's just perfect. So then I have two. I got super glue in the garage.
I just want to know what happened to the other one.
Well, I'd still have it. If they cut 2 nuts off. Bad joke. I don't know.
You didn't? No.
All right. We've been here 3 hours.
Somebody says something like, "Oh, they give you like $15,000 for a Tesco." I'm like, "Dude, $45,000," and they're like, "No, wait. What?"
You get the I was gonna give you my 2-year-old joke, but I'm not gonna give it to you.
Oh,
that would be
please don't.
That would be massively horrible. I gotta figure this out because I can't. There we go. Awesome. I appreciate it.
Yeah, man. Thank you for having me on.
No, that was fun. I appreciate it, man. It's good.
I love podcasting. Like
I'll seriously. I would sit here till 3 o'clock in the morning. I don't give a damn.
But if I had a couple Red Bulls, I'd be 3 o'clock in the morning.
So see, my red. I told you that I messaged him earlier. Is that maybe I don't know. I put it somewhere where you're good with 2 Red Bulls.
2 Red Bulls will get me through just about anything.
Absolutely.
But I had Red Bull and pre-workout before we trained, and that's worn off.
Yeah.
So I need another one.
Awesome.
Actually,
so people that hung this long, congratulations! Holy shit, you get 8,000 points.
Oh, we're still live?
Yeah.
Oh, hey.
No, I was thinking I got to do the screen.
How you doing?
I'm
sitting like,
dude, that was
we did.
That's what isn't that what they call juxtaposition?
Yeah.
Juxtaposition. I'm back.